You are not here by accident. This moment, right now, is exactly where you need to be. The universe is not a random place, and neither are you. You have arrived at this time and place because something deep within you is calling for change, for growth, and for greatness. It is no longer a time to wait, no longer a time to hesitate. The universe is aligning itself with your desires, preparing to show you what is rightfully yours. Now is the time to claim it. You are not a passive observer in the world around you. You are an active creator capable of shaping your own reality. Every thought you hold, every belief you nurture within yourself has a profound impact on the world around you. You might not always see the immediate results, but everything you experience, everything you see in your life, begins with the thoughts you hold. You are the master of your reality, and this truth, once realized and embraced, will change everything for you. You are not merely a participant in the world, subject to its whims and forces. You are a co-creator with the universe, working hand in hand with it to manifest the life you desire. There's a truth that many people fail to grasp, and it is this. Everything you've ever dreamed of is already within your reach. The wealth you seek, the success you desire, the happiness you long for, the peace and fulfillment you crave, they are not far away, not some distant future. They are already a part of you, waiting to be recognized, to be claimed, to be brought into your experience. All that is required is for you to see it, to know it, and to believe that it is already yours. You have the power to shape your own world, and the moment you realize this, the world will begin to shift in ways you never thought possible. The life you've always imagined, the one where wealth flows freely, where your heart is full of joy, where you feel at peace with yourself and the world around you. This life is not a fantasy. It is your birthright. It is waiting for you to step into it, to claim it as your own. And the good news is, you don't need to go searching for it. You don't need to look outside of yourself for the life you desire. The key lies within you, in the thoughts you choose to think, and the beliefs you decide to hold. Your thoughts are more powerful than you realize. Each thought, each belief you hold, is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. Over time, these thoughts take root, grow, and eventually manifest in your outer world. This is the law of the universe, the law of creation. You are always creating, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every thought, every feeling, every word you speak contributes to the world you are shaping. The good news is you can take control of this process. You can choose the thoughts that you wish to cultivate, and by doing so, you can create the reality you desire. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not bound by your past, by your upbringing, or by the opinions of others. You are free. You are free to create the life you want, to shape your world according to your desires. When you understand that your thoughts are the architects of your life, it becomes clear that you are not a passive observer in the world. You are a creator, and the world around you is your canvas. Now it's important to understand that this is not about wishful thinking or passive hope. It's about a deep, unwavering belief that you are worthy of the life you desire. You must believe with all your heart and soul that you are deserving of the abundance, the success, and the happiness that you seek. And once you embrace this belief, once you know in the very depths of your being that you are worthy, the universe will begin to reflect this back to you. Your worthiness is not dependent on anything outside of you. It is not dependent on your achievements, your bank account, your past mistakes, or the opinions of others. Your worthiness is inherent in who you are. You are a child of the universe, and you were born to live a life of abundance. The moment you decide to embrace your worth, the moment you affirm that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, You open the door for these things to flow into your life. It all begins with your mind. You must train your mind to see the world as full of endless possibilities. You must choose to see abundance everywhere you look, even in times of difficulty. You must look beyond the surface and recognize that the universe is always working in your favor. When you shift your perception, when you begin to see the opportunities in every situation, your life will change. The world will not look the same to you anymore. You will begin to see it through the eyes of a creator, a person who knows that they have the power to shape their own destiny. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not at the mercy of the world around you. You are a powerful being, capable of shaping your life according to your will. The circumstances of your life do not define you. What defines you is the way you choose to respond to those circumstances, the thoughts you choose to entertain, and the beliefs you decide to hold. You have the ability to change your reality, starting with the thoughts you think and the beliefs you hold. Every dream, every goal, every desire you have is already within your grasp. There is no need to search for it outside of yourself. It is already within you, waiting for you to acknowledge it. The key to unlocking your dreams is simple. Believe that you are worthy of them. Believe that they are already on their way to you, and take inspired action to bring them into your life. The universe responds to your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. When you align yourself with the energy of abundance, when you focus on the good in your life and affirm that more is on its way, the universe will respond. It will bring people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life that are in harmony with your desires. And here's the most wonderful part. You do not have to figure it all out. You do not need to have a clear plan or know every step ahead of time. All you need is the belief that your dreams are already on their way to you. Once you hold that belief, everything else will fall into place. The universe will guide you. Opportunities will present themselves. Doors will open, and you will walk through them with confidence, knowing that this is the life you were always meant to live. So as you stand here today, know this: you are a creator, and the life you desire is already within your reach. All you need to do is believe it. Trust that the universe is working in your favor. Believe in your worth. Believe in your ability to create the life you desire. And watch as your reality transforms before your very eyes. Wealth, success, and abundance are already yours, waiting for you to claim them. These are not things that you need to search for or strive to obtain through effort and struggle. No, they are your birthright, and they are already part of your experience, ready to flow into your life the moment you accept them. When you believe that they are yours, they will come to you naturally and effortlessly. The moment you truly know in your heart that you are worthy of all the good things that life has to offer, the universe begins to move in your favor, and everything you have ever dreamed of will start to manifest. You might think that wealth, success, and abundance are things reserved for a few lucky individuals, for the select few who seem to have everything handed to them on a silver platter. But let me tell you, that is not the truth. Wealth is not a matter of luck or timing. It is a matter of belief. It is a matter of knowing that you are worthy of wealth, that you are deserving of success, and that abundance is your natural state. You were born into this world to live a life of abundance, and when you align your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions with this truth, the universe will respond in kind. You see, it's not about waiting for the right moment or for the perfect circumstances to arrive. The universe does not operate in a linear fashion where your success is earned only after you have proven your worth through struggle and hard work. The universe operates on the law of attraction, which states that like attracts like. This means that the thoughts you hold in your mind, the beliefs you carry in your heart, are the very things that attract the circumstances and events of your life. When you focus on abundance, when you focus on wealth and success, you attract these things to you, and they come to you effortlessly, naturally, because you are in alignment with the abundant flow of the universe. The wealth you seek is already available to you. It is not a distant dream or a far-off fantasy. It is not something you have to work tirelessly to achieve. It is something that is already present in your life, just waiting for you to claim it. You are the one who must open the door, who must make the decision to step into the flow of abundance that is waiting for you. And you do this by believing that it is yours, by trusting that the universe will provide everything you need, and by being willing to accept the wealth that is already on its way to you. You may have spent years struggling with feelings of scarcity, wondering why things seem to be so hard, why abundance feels so elusive. You may have been taught to believe that success and wealth are hard-earned, that they require years of struggle and sacrifice. But that is a false belief. The truth is you are already worthy of success. You are already worthy of wealth. The key to unlocking your abundance lies in your own mind and the way you think, and in the beliefs you hold. The moment you choose to believe that wealth is already yours, it begins to flow into your life. It's time to let go of the old beliefs that have held you back. The belief that you must work endlessly to earn wealth. The belief that abundance is reserved for others. The belief that you must sacrifice your happiness and well-being in order to achieve success. These beliefs no longer serve you. They are outdated, and they are keeping you from stepping into the fullness of your potential. Let go of them now. Release them and replace them with the truth that wealth, success, and abundance are already yours. They are a part of you, a part of your destiny, and the moment you claim them, they will be yours. You may wonder then, how does this all work? How can it be that wealth, success, and abundance are already mine, waiting for me to claim them? The answer is simple. It all begins with your thoughts. Your thoughts are the foundation upon which your reality is built. The universe responds to the thoughts you hold, to the beliefs you carry. If you believe that wealth is difficult to attain, that success is hard to come by, that abundance is something you have to work tirelessly for, then that is the reality you will experience. But if you believe that wealth is already yours, that success is inevitable, that abundance flows freely into your life, then that is the reality you will create. It's all about shifting your focus. Shift your focus from scarcity to abundance, from lack to wealth, from struggle to success. When you focus on abundance, you attract more of it. When you focus on wealth, you draw wealth into your life. The universe responds to your thoughts, and it brings more of what you are focused on into your experience. This is the law of attraction at work. It's simple and it's powerful. You might find it hard to believe at first. You may have spent years in a mindset of scarcity, in a mindset of lack, believing that success and wealth were out of your reach. But let me assure you, that is not the truth. The truth is that you are a child of the universe, and you were born to live a life of abundance. The moment you decide to believe this truth, the moment you choose to shift your focus and align your thoughts with abundance, everything begins to change. When you believe that wealth is already yours, you begin to act differently. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to take inspired action, knowing that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. And with every step you take, the universe responds by bringing more wealth, more success, and more opportunities into your life. The flow of abundance becomes unstoppable. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't need to know every step of the journey. All you need to do is believe that wealth is already yours, that success is inevitable, and that abundance is flowing into your life right now. Once you embrace this truth, everything will start to fall into place. The universe will bring the people, the resources, and the opportunities you need to manifest your desires. It will guide you every step of the way to the wealth and success you are destined to experience. And it's important to remember that wealth is not just about money. Wealth is about living a life of abundance in every area: love, joy, peace, freedom, and fulfillment. It's about knowing that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, and it's about allowing yourself to receive them. The more you embrace this abundance, the more it will flow into your life in ways you could never have imagined. Every area of your life will begin to reflect this abundant flow, and you will feel the joy and fulfillment that comes with knowing that you are living the life you were always meant to live. So remember this truth: wealth, success, and abundance are already yours. You don't have to wait for them, and you don't have to struggle to attain them. All you need to do is believe that they are already yours, and the universe will respond by bringing them into your life. You are worthy of wealth. You are deserving of success. And now it's time to claim it. Abundance is here now. It's not a far-off dream or a future event. It is available to you in this very moment. The universe doesn't wait for the right time to bless you with all that you desire. No, abundance is always present, always ready to flow into your life. And the moment you choose to accept it, the moment you allow it into your experience, everything begins to change. This is not something you must work for or chase after. It is something you must simply embrace. Too many people go through life believing that abundance is something they must earn through struggle or hardship. They believe that wealth is for the lucky few, that success comes only after years of hard work and sacrifice. But let me tell you, this belief is not only false, it is holding you back from stepping into the life you are meant to live. The truth is that you were born into this world to experience abundance in every way. Wealth is your natural state, and the only thing standing in the way of you experiencing it is your belief that it is not already yours. When you believe that abundance is something you must wait for, something that is out of reach, you block the flow of it into your life. You create a gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap can feel frustrating, discouraging, and painful. But the moment you decide to accept that abundance is already available to you, everything shifts. You stop waiting for something outside of yourself to change, and you begin to realize that the key to unlocking the flow of abundance lies within you. It is not about waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, or the right circumstances. It is about understanding that the moment you align your thoughts and beliefs with abundance, will begin to flow freely into your life. Abundance is not a destination. It is a state of mind. It is a way of being, a way of thinking, and a way of living. When you accept that abundance is already here right now, you open the door to all that you desire. Your thoughts create your reality. And when you focus on abundance, when you believe that it is yours here and now, you align yourself with the infinite flow of the universe. The universe does not work on a timeline. It works on the principle of alignment. When you align your mind with the truth of abundance, everything else will fall into place. One of the most powerful ways to tap into this flow of abundance is through gratitude. Gratitude is a magnet for abundance. The more you focus on what you already have, the more the universe will bring you. When you take time each day to be thankful for the blessings in your life, whether they are big or small, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. You are saying, I am open to receiving all the good that life has to offer. And when you do this, you begin to notice that the flow of abundance intensifies. Opportunities, resources, people, and circumstances that align with your desires start to appear. But gratitude is not just about acknowledging the blessings you already have. It's also about feeling the joy of abundance, even before it shows up in your life. This is a key principle of manifestation. feeling the feelings you desire to experience. When you feel abundant, when you feel successful, when you feel joyful and grateful, you are aligning yourself with the energy of abundance. And when you do this, the universe begins to mirror those feelings back to you in the form of real-world experiences. You attract what you feel, and the more you feel abundance, the more it will manifest in your life. You don't have to wait for things to change in the outside world to experience abundance. It all begins with you right now, in this moment. It begins with your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings. If you want to experience abundance, you must first embrace the truth that it is already yours. It is not something you must chase after. It is something you must claim. You must claim it with confidence, with certainty, and with a deep understanding that abundance is your natural state. This is a powerful truth. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment to step into your abundance. The perfect moment is now. It is in this very moment that you have the power to change your reality. All that you desire is available to you, and it is already on its way to you. The only thing that stands between you and your desires is the belief that they are not already yours. The moment you decide to believe in your abundance, the universe will respond. It will bring you the people, the opportunities, and the resources that are in alignment with your desires. Abundance is not something that you have to earn. It is something that is already yours. It is a law of the universe that once you align yourself with it, begins to manifest in your life. You are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. And when you fully accept this truth, everything begins to change. The wealth, success, and abundance that you desire are not just dreams. They are already on their way to you. They are not distant goals that you must strive for with hard work and struggle. They are not rewards that only the lucky few will receive. No, they are your birthright. These things are meant for you. And the moment you decide to believe that they are already yours, you begin to align yourself with the infinite flow of abundance that the universe has in store for you. Too many people live their lives believing that abundance is something that must be earned, something that comes only after years of sacrifice and hard labor. They believe that success is for those who have worked the hardest or who have the most talent. But the truth is, success, wealth, and abundance are not reserved for a select few. They are available to everyone. They are available to you. The first step in claiming your abundance is understanding this simple truth. You don't have to work hard to achieve wealth. You don't have to strive for success as if it's something that only a few can attain. You don't have to chase after opportunities as though they're fleeting and difficult to catch. Instead, you need only to believe that wealth is already yours. You need only to believe that you are deserving of the life you desire. When you believe that you are worthy of success, that you are worthy of abundance, the universe will respond to you in kind. You are a co-creator with the universe. The law of attraction works through your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings. If you believe that wealth is difficult to attain, that success is something out of your reach, then that belief will become your reality. The universe will reflect back to you the very belief you hold in your heart. But when you believe that success is inevitable, when you believe that wealth is already yours, you begin to attract those things into your life. And this isn't some distant future, it's happening right now. The moment you align your thoughts with abundance, you begin to see opportunities everywhere you look. Success is not about struggling or working yourself to the bone. It is not about fighting for what you want. It is about allowing yourself to receive. It is about trusting that what you desire is already on its way to you, and that all you need to do is open yourself up to it. You are worthy of success, and you are worthy of the wealth you seek. This is not a distant dream. It is your present reality. You have only to believe it, but to believe in your own worthiness, you must first release all limiting beliefs and fears that you may have about success. Many people believe that they are not deserving of success. They believe that wealth is for others, not for them. They believe that they must struggle and sacrifice to achieve their goals. These beliefs are rooted in fear and scarcity. They are false beliefs, and they must be let go. The moment you choose to let go of these limiting beliefs, the moment you choose to embrace the truth that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer, everything will begin to shift. The universe is abundant. It is always offering opportunities for those who are open to receiving them. And when you choose to believe that success and wealth are already yours, the universe will respond by bringing these opportunities into your life. But it requires your faith, your trust, and your willingness to receive. You must trust that the universe has your best interests at heart. You must trust that the success you desire is already on its way to you. And when you trust, you will begin to see the opportunities, the people, and the circumstances that will help you manifest your desires. The more you trust in the flow of abundance, the more it will flow into your life. The more you focus on wealth, the more wealth will come to you. The more you focus on success, the more success will be attracted to you. You do not have to chase it. You do not have to force it. You must only trust that it is already yours, and it will begin to show up in your life in ways you never imagined. Let me say it again. Success, wealth, and abundance are not something you must chase after. They are already on their way to you. All you have to do is accept them. Accept that you are deserving of them. Accept that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. And the moment you accept it, the universe will begin to bring them to you. This is not a theory or an idea. This is the law of the universe, a law that is always working. Whether you are conscious of it or not, your thoughts are powerful, and your beliefs shape your reality. You are constantly creating your experience through the thoughts you think and the beliefs you hold. When you believe that you are deserving of wealth, when you believe that success is inevitable, the universe will mirror that belief back to you. It will bring you opportunities, it will bring you people, and it will bring you circumstances that align with your desires. Wealth is not something you must earn through struggle and sacrifice. It is not something you must chase after. It is something you must allow. Allow the flow of abundance into your life. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to believe that you are deserving of the success, wealth, and joy that you desire. When you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, everything changes. You begin to see the world in a new light. You begin to notice the opportunities that were always there, but that you couldn't see before. You begin to take inspired action, knowing that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. And with each action you take, the universe responds by bringing more abundance into your life. You do not have to wait for success. Success is already yours. You do not have to wait for wealth. Wealth is already yours. You do not have to wait for abundance. Abundance is already yours. All you need to do is believe it, accept it, and step into the flow of it. The universe is waiting to bless you with everything you desire. Are you ready to receive it? The wealth, success, and opportunities that you desire are already in motion, flowing toward you right now. The key to unlocking them is your willingness to accept that they are already yours. So often we spend our lives waiting for the right time, for the perfect moment, or for a signal from the universe to take action. But let me tell you, the right time is now. The perfect moment is now. Everything you desire is already on its way to you, and the only thing that can hold it back is your own belief in its arrival. You are a powerful magnet for the things you desire, and the universe is always responding to your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. When you align your mind with the truth that wealth is already yours, that success is already guaranteed, you begin to attract these things into your life. The more you believe it, the more you see it, the more you expect it, the more you receive it. This is how the law of attraction works. and it is always in play, whether you realize it or not. You are constantly attracting to you that which you focus on. When you focus on abundance, abundance flows to you. When you focus on success, success flows to you. When you focus on wealth, wealth flows to you. So you must ask yourself, what are you focusing on? What thoughts are you allowing to fill your mind? Are you focusing on the lack of what you want? Or are you focusing on the abundance that is already on its way to you? Every moment of every day you have the power to shift your focus, to align your thoughts with the reality you want to create. The moment you focus on what you want, instead of what you fear or lack, you begin to magnetize those desires into your life. It is not about waiting for the perfect opportunity, because every moment is an opportunity. It is not about waiting for everything to be just right before you take action. No, the universe is always moving, always working in your favor, always preparing the way for you. The question is, are you ready to walk through the door when it opens? Are you ready to accept what the universe is offering you? Many people wait for the right time, but the truth is, the right time is now. The universe is not waiting for some future moment when everything will line up perfectly. It is waiting for you to accept your abundance, to open the door and to walk through it. Everything you desire is available to you now, and the universe is already working to bring it into your experience. All you need to do is trust, believe, and take action. Trust that the opportunities you seek are already on their way to you. Trust that the people you need to meet, the resources you need to succeed, and the circumstances that will align with your desires are already being brought into your life. When you trust in the process, when you trust that the universe is always guiding you, you will begin to see how everything falls into place. The right people will show up at the right time. The right opportunities will present themselves when you need them most, and you will find yourself in the perfect position to receive the abundance that has been waiting for you all along. You must trust that you are always in the right place at the right time, and that every step you take is a step toward your ultimate success. The universe is never working against you. It is always working in your favor, always aligning with your highest good. And the moment you choose to trust in this truth, the moment you choose to believe that everything is already in motion, everything will begin to unfold in ways that you never thought possible. But trust is not enough on its own. Belief is the driving force behind everything you manifest. You must believe, without a doubt, that your dreams are already becoming a reality. You must believe that the universe is bringing you everything you need right now to achieve your goals. When you believe that your success is inevitable, when you believe that your wealth is already on its way, the universe will respond by aligning every circumstance, every opportunity, and every person with that belief. Belief is the fuel that powers the law of attraction. Without belief, the universe cannot bring your desires into your life. But when you believe with unwavering faith that you are deserving of all that you want, when you know deep down in your soul that your success is assured, the universe begins to work on your behalf. It moves mountains, it opens doors, and it creates opportunities that you could never have imagined. The truth is, you are already on the path to success. The moment you believe it, the moment you accept that wealth, success, and abundance are already yours, you will begin to see the world around you change. The opportunities you've been waiting for will appear, and you will recognize them. The people you need to meet will cross your path, and you will welcome them with open arms. The success you desire is already in motion, and all that is required of you is to believe it. You see, the universe does not wait for you to be perfect before it brings you success. It doesn't wait for everything to be in place, or for the stars to align just right. The universe responds to your belief. It responds to the energy you put out. And when you believe that wealth is yours, that success is inevitable, and that abundance is your natural state, the universe has no choice but to reflect that belief back to you in your reality. It is time to stop doubting. It is time to stop questioning your worth and your ability to succeed. You are worthy of wealth. You are worthy of success. You are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. And the moment you accept this truth, the moment you believe that you are deserving of it, the doors of abundance will open wide, and everything you desire will flow into your life with ease. The universe is ready to give you everything you have ever dreamed of. It is ready to bring you wealth, success, happiness, and fulfillment. All that is required is for you to believe it. The moment you step into your own worth, the moment you believe that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, the universe will respond in kind. Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to step into your abundance? The universe is waiting for you to say yes, to believe and to trust that everything you desire is already on its way. Now is your time. Believe it, claim it, and watch as your dreams come to life. Release all doubt, for it no longer serves you. Doubt is a barrier to your abundance. It is the voice in your mind that tells you that success is for others, but not for you. It whispers that you are not worthy, that your dreams are too big, or that you are not capable of achieving the wealth and success that you desire. But let me tell you something profound. Doubt is nothing more than an illusion, a false belief that has no place in your life. It is the enemy of your abundance, and the moment you choose to let go of it, you free yourself to embrace your true potential. Many people spend their lives in the grip of doubt. They doubt their worth, they doubt their ability, and they doubt the very possibility of their success. This doubt creates an invisible wall between them and the life they desire. It prevents them from stepping into their power, from claiming the wealth and abundance that are already available to them. But here's the truth. Doubt has no power over you unless you give it power. It cannot hold you back unless you allow it to. And you, my dear, are far more powerful than any doubt that arises within your mind. The moment you choose to release doubt, you step into a new reality, a reality where success is inevitable, where wealth is already yours, and where the universe is always working in your favor. It is a choice you must make, and when you make that choice, everything begins to change. The first step is to acknowledge that doubt is just a thought, a fleeting feeling that has no real substance. It is not the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are is powerful, abundant, and capable of achieving everything you desire. Doubt tells you that your dreams are too far-fetched, that your goals are out of reach. But I am here to tell you that your dreams are not out of reach. They are within you right now. They are a part of your divine blueprint, and they are already on their way to you. You have everything you need inside of you to create the life you desire. All that is required is for you to believe it. When you believe that your dreams are possible, when you trust that the universe is guiding you toward your desires, doubt disappears. It loses its grip on you, and you are free to take inspired action toward your goals. Too often, people hold on to doubt because they feel it is their protection. They think that if they doubt their ability to succeed, they won't be disappointed when things don't go as planned. But this way of thinking only limits their potential. It keeps them small, stuck in a cycle of fear and uncertainty. But when you release doubt, you open the door to unlimited possibilities. You open yourself up to the infinite flow of abundance, to the wealth and success that have always been yours. Doubt is rooted in fear, and fear is the illusion that you are separate from your desires, separate from your abundance. Fear tells you that there is not enough for everyone, that there is not enough success, enough wealth, enough opportunities to go around. But that is simply not true. The universe is abundant. It is always providing, always offering opportunities for those who are willing to receive. And you, dear one, are more than deserving of everything it has to offer. The moment you release fear, the moment you stop believing in the illusion of scarcity, you step into the truth of your abundance. And when you step into your abundance, the universe will bring you all that you desire. You must let go of the old beliefs that have held you back. You must release the limiting thoughts that tell you that success is for others, but not for you. These beliefs were formed long ago, perhaps through past experiences, perhaps through the conditioning of society, but they are not your truth. Your truth is that you are a creator, a divine being capable of shaping your own reality. Your truth is that wealth, success, and abundance are already yours, waiting for you to claim them. And the moment you release doubt and fear, you step into the fullness of your truth. Trust is the antidote to doubt. Trust is the belief that everything is unfolding perfectly, even when you cannot see the full picture. Trust is knowing that the universe is guiding you toward your desires, even when things don't seem to be going according to plan. When you trust, you let go of the need to control every outcome. You surrender to the flow of life, knowing that it is leading you exactly where you need to be. Trust allows you to take bold, inspired action toward your goals, knowing that you are supported every step of the way. And when you trust, doubt has no place in your life. To trust is to have faith. Faith that the universe is always working in your favor. Faith that your desires are already on their way to you. Faith that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. And when you have faith, doubt disappears. It cannot exist in the presence of unwavering trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your ability to create the life you desire. And trust that the universe is always working with you, not against you. Release doubt now and make space for faith. Make space for trust. Make space for the abundance that is already on its way to you. You do not need to know how everything will unfold. You do not need to have all the answers. All you need is faith and the willingness to take the next step. When you take action from a place of trust, when you believe that your success is inevitable, the universe will bring everything into alignment for you. The people, the resources, the opportunities, all will appear at the perfect time, and you will be ready to receive them, because you have released doubt and chosen to trust in the flow of life. Every time doubt creeps in, remind yourself of this truth. You are worthy of success. You are deserving of wealth. You are capable of achieving all that you desire. The universe is abundant, and there is more than enough for you. Trust in the abundance that is already on its way to you. Trust that the universe is always guiding you toward your highest good. And when you trust, doubt has no choice but to fall away, leaving only the clarity and peace that come with knowing you are exactly where you need to be. The moment you release doubt, you open the door to a life of limitless possibilities. You allow yourself to step into your full power, to embrace your worth, and to claim the abundance that is already yours. And in that moment, everything changes. The universe will respond to your trust, bringing you everything you desire and more. It is time to let go of doubt, to step into your trust, and to embrace the limitless abundance that is available to you right now. You are ready now to step into the full realization of your worth. The universe has been waiting for this moment, for the moment when you fully embrace who you truly are, abundant, powerful, deserving of all the good that life has to offer. It is not something you have to strive for. It is not something that will come only after you have earned it through hardship. This abundance is already yours, waiting for you to claim it. Too often we spend our lives looking for permission to succeed. We wait for someone to validate our dreams, to tell us we are worthy of wealth, or to give us the approval we feel we need. But let me tell you this, you do not need anyone's approval. You do not need to wait for the world to give you a sign that you are worthy. You are worthy simply because you exist. Your birthright is abundance. Your worthiness is not earned by your actions or determined by the opinions of others. It is inherent in your being. When you finally accept this truth, when you fully acknowledge that you are deserving of everything you desire, the entire universe will respond in kind. It will bring you the people, the opportunities, the resources, and the circumstances that align with your new belief. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is your willingness to fully accept your worth and claim it. This is a moment of transformation, a moment where you decide once and for all that you are deserving of the life you've always imagined. No longer will you wait for permission. No longer will you doubt your ability. No longer will you shrink back, fearing that your dreams are too big or too far out of reach. Your dreams are yours to claim. They are already in your life's blueprint, and the moment you believe in your power to manifest them, they will begin to unfold effortlessly. When you embrace your worth, you begin to step into the flow of life. You stop pushing and forcing. You stop striving and struggling. Instead, you move with the current of the universe, which is abundant and filled with infinite possibilities. You begin to attract what you desire naturally, as if the world itself is conspiring to bring you everything you've ever wanted. This is the power of belief. This is the power of accepting your worth. The universe is not withholding anything from you. It is always ready to give, always ready to bless you with all the abundance you can imagine. And the moment you decide that you are ready to receive, you will notice how quickly everything begins to change. Opportunities will come to you. Success will flow to you. Abundance will surround you. But this all begins with you. It begins with you deciding that you are worthy of it all. You are not waiting for the universe to give you permission to succeed. You are not waiting for some sign or signal to let you know that it's your time. No, it is already your time. The time to claim your wealth, your happiness, and your success is right now. The time to step into your true power is right now. The time to believe that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer is right now. As you move forward, carry this knowing with you. Know that you are worthy of everything you desire. Know that the universe is already aligning everything for you. Know that all the success, wealth, and joy you seek is already on its way to you. And the moment you accept this truth, your life will begin to change in ways that you never thought possible. In every moment, affirm your worth, affirm that you are deserving of all good things. Know that your dreams are already unfolding. Know that everything you desire is already yours and the universe is bringing it to you right now. This is your time, and you are more than ready to claim your abundance. Affirmations to anchor your belief. I am worthy of all the success, wealth, and joy that life has to offer. I embrace my abundance and allow it to flow effortlessly into my life. The universe is always supporting me, bringing me opportunities, people, and resources aligned with my desires. I trust that everything I need is already on its way to me. I release all doubts about my worth and embrace the truth that I am deserving of my dreams. I am a magnet for wealth, success, and happiness, and I am open to receiving them now. My life is filled with abundance, and I joyfully accept all the good that is coming my way. Every day, in every way, I am becoming more aligned with my dreams and desires. I trust in the perfect timing of the universe and know that everything is unfolding for my highest good. I am a powerful creator, and I shape my life with my thoughts, beliefs, and actions. I am deserving of all the riches of life, and I claim them now. With these affirmations, let them resonate deeply within you. Let them fill your mind, your heart, and your soul. Speak them aloud, with conviction and certainty, and feel the power of your words as they begin to shape your reality. This is the moment you take full ownership of your abundance. The time to claim your worth and receive your blessings is now. Step into your power and know that everything you desire is already on its way.
When we understand the divine law of prosperity, we cease to chase money and instead allow money to chase us. Money is not merely paper or coins, it is an expression of the boundless substance of the universe, an obedient servant responding to our words, beliefs, and expectations. Many souls experience blocked finances not because supply has vanished, but because fear, doubt, resentment, or old beliefs have formed invisible walls, interrupting the divine circulation of wealth. It is never the world outside that limits us, only the world within. Divine supply is always present, as constant as the air we breathe. The same infinite intelligence that hung the stars in perfect order desires for us to live in ease, security, and joyful abundance. Lack is not a condition ordained by spirit, but a byproduct of false thoughts repeated so often that the mind accepts them as truth. When one believes money is hard to get, money responds by staying away. When one feels unworthy of success, success simply passes by. But when one speaks the language of faith, wealth begins to flow with effortless grace. The spoken word is a mighty force. What we decree with feeling becomes our lived experience. Every prayer of faith is a key that unlocks doors we once believed sealed shut. Prayer aligns us with the wealth that is already ours by divine right. We do not beg for supply. We claim it, command it, and joyfully expect it to manifest. When we declare abundance with conviction, the universe rearranges itself to fulfill our command. Sometimes, money is blocked because the heart is holding on to old grievances. Resentment ties us to the very conditions we want to escape. Forgiveness dissolves every obstruction and clears the path for prosperity to rush in. Gratitude further speeds the good to us, for the thankful heart magnetizes more to be thankful for. As we release fear and embrace trust, we become tuned like a perfect instrument, able to receive every note of good destined for us. There are divine channels through which supply can come, channels we cannot always predict. Yet we must never limit how or through whom our good arrives. The universe has 1,000 avenues to bless us. Our part is to speak prosperity, think prosperity, and expect prosperity. Prayer is our affirmation that wealth is already moving toward us, seen or unseen. Within these prayers lies a transformation of thought, of belief, of relationship to abundance. Each prayer is a spiritual tool that loosens the tightly held knots around finances. They call forth opportunities, divine ideas, unexpected income, and perfect timing. They restore the natural flow of money, just as clearing a riverbank allows water to run freely again. As we embody faith, every blocked blessing is released, the doors of wealth swing wide open. Money becomes a joyful companion, always returning, always replenishing, always responding to our fearless trust. In the infinite, money responds to faith, not fear. This is a spiritual principle that governs all forms of supply. Faith is the magnet, the unseen power that draws abundance from the invisible into manifestation. Fear, on the other hand, repels good and creates barriers in consciousness that block financial flow. When we believe that money is scarce, when we worry about how bills will be paid, when we doubt that we are supported by a loving universe, we unknowingly command lack to take root. Our inner world becomes the architect of our outer experience, and the financial struggles we face are reflections of the beliefs living quietly within us. Faith is certainty in the invisible source. It sees beyond appearances and knows that supply is not dependent on a job, a bank account, or economic conditions. These are merely channels, not the source itself. When one places faith in channels, fear easily enters the mind. A job can be lost, a market can shift, a circumstance can change. But the divine supply behind all channels is eternal, inexhaustible, and always working for our good. When faith is placed in spirit rather than circumstances, money begins to obey that faith, appearing through both expected and unexpected paths. Many people unknowingly worship fear. They rehearse anxieties, speak words of worry, and imagine worst-case scenarios. Their minds become factories producing endless thoughts of survival and desperation, and those thoughts manifest as the very hardships they dread. Fear is creative energy misdirected. It gives power to lack and invites financial struggle into the home, into business, into every endeavor. The more time spent fearing debt, the more debt multiplies. The more one frets over not having enough, the more evidence of not enough materializes. Money cannot flow into a consciousness blocked by fear. Faith, however, creates open channels. Faith says, I am divinely provided for, and money rushes to fulfill that decree. Faith affirms, my supply is unlimited and always meets me here and now, and new doors swing open. Faith sees opportunity in every direction. It is bold, confident, serene. It has no interest in how or when the good will arrive because it knows the supply is already secure. Faith places its trust in universal law, and law must obey. Just as a seed naturally becomes a harvest when planted in fertile soil, a thought planted in faith must produce blessings. Fear is rooted in the illusion that we are separate from the infinite. It whispers lies such as, you must struggle, or there isn't enough for everyone. These beliefs shrink our capacity to receive. They cause us to hold tightly to what we have, turning hands that should remain open into clenched fists. When we clutch at money, we stop its circulation. But faith understands that the universe operates through flow. It gives, receives, and gives again. Those who trust abundance give freely, knowing that whatever leaves their hands returns multiplied. Faith keeps money moving like a river, always returning with greater force. Words are the vehicles of faith. What we speak reveals what we truly believe. A person who declares, I never have enough, is placing strong faith in lack, and the law responds obediently. A person who says money comes to me easily and continuously plants seeds of prosperity. Faith-filled words hold life and energy that transform circumstances. They reshape the unseen and cause new forms of supply to manifest. The tongue can unlock wealth or block it completely. Each statement becomes a decree that the universe fulfills. Faith is not pretending, it is knowing. It does not overlook obstacles, it overrides them. Even when appearances show emptiness, faith perceives the fullness behind the curtain of form. It is the inner assurance that something wonderful is happening, even if there is no visible evidence yet. Faith is a spiritual eye that sees the harvest long before the seed breaks the soil. It is confidence rooted in divine promise rather than temporary appearance. When faith is strong, fear has no soil to grow in. People often ask for financial miracles while continuing to hold fearful thoughts. They pray for abundance while speaking of shortages. They desire wealth but believe deep down that they do not deserve it. The subconscious mind listens not to wishful thinking but to conviction. Whatever emotion carries the strongest weight becomes the command. If fear is stronger than faith, fear wins. Therefore, the work is not outside but within, to cultivate unshakable trust in the generosity of the divine. Faith does not operate only when circumstances look good. It shines brightest when everything appears dark. When bills stack high, when income slows, when opportunities seem scarce, that is the moment to declare boldly, my good comes now. Nothing is too difficult for the infinite. I am sustained by divine supply. These words, spoken with authority, dismantle the invisible walls created by fear. Faith injects life into every stagnant situation, reviving dormant channels of prosperity and attracting new paths of success. We must learn to withdraw attention from fear immediately. The moment worry tries to speak, it must be replaced with a statement of truth. There is no lack in God, and there is no lack in me. Repetition of truth reshapes the subconscious mind, clearing away fear's residue. Just as we strengthen muscles through consistent exercise, we strengthen faith through consistent declaration and expectation. Over time, fear loses its influence, and faith becomes the natural posture of the soul. Living by faith means believing we are worthy of wealth. Many have unknowingly rejected prosperity because they feel guilt or shame around money. They have absorbed beliefs that wealth is selfish, greedy, or spiritual only in moderation. These ideas separate us from our divine inheritance, the infinite desires that we live in comfort, joy, and expansion. Wealth is simply a tool that allows us to share, to grow, to uplift. Faith embraces abundance without apology, knowing that the more we receive, the more we can bless others. Faith and imagination work together. When we visualize success, abundance, and financial ease, we send a clear signal to the universe about what we are ready to receive. Imagination forms the blueprint, and faith energizes it. Fear imagines disaster. Faith imagines fulfillment. Whatever we continually picture becomes a magnetic force in the invisible realm. To cultivate prosperity, one must build a mental picture of financial freedom and dwell in it as if it were already reality. Every financial breakthrough begins with a shift in consciousness. When fear dissolves, money no longer feels distant or elusive. It becomes a natural companion, flowing towards us because it recognizes a receptive, confident, and expectant mind. Faith is the invitation that calls prosperity home. Divine supply is always present and unlimited. The universe is an endless reservoir of substance, forever pouring forth good into every receptive mind and open heart. We do not live in a world of limited resources, we live in a world of limited beliefs. The same infinite intelligence that maintains the oceans, feeds the birds of the air, and adorns the fields with thousands of flowers, has already prepared every form of provision required for our well-being. Wealth is not something to chase or plead for, but something to recognize as eternally flowing in our direction. There is no true lack in the divine plan. What appears as shortage in human experience is not evidence of limited supply, but evidence of disconnected consciousness. When the mind entertains ideas of restriction, the flow of abundance becomes clogged, much like a river obstructed by fallen debris. Yet the water still exists in abundance, pressing behind the block, waiting to surge forward once the barrier is removed. So too does divine supply press lovingly against every wall of doubt, ready to pour into our lives the moment we make room for it through faith and expectation. Supply is not earned, it is claimed. It belongs to us by our very existence, for we are children of the infinite source. Just as the sun does not choose who is worthy of its light, divine supply does not measure who deserves abundance more. It flows according to spiritual law, responding only to consciousness. Those who believe in scarcity receive scarcity. Those who believe in endless good receive endless good. We are never deprived by spirit, only by our own acceptance of less than what is available. Every need we have has already been answered before the need even arises. This is the quiet mystery of the universe. The solution is created before the problem reaches us. The supply is prepared before the desire is born. A desire for more is a divine indicator that more is ready to be received. When one longs for financial freedom, for debt to dissolve, for opportunities to expand, that longing is not an illusion. It is the soul's recognition of a supply waiting just beyond the doorway of belief. We expand or restrict this supply with our thoughts. A consciousness filled with worry or resentment contracts, shutting the gates to good. But a consciousness filled with confidence and gratitude expands, creating wide-open channels through which abundance can flow. Every grateful thought says to the universe, I recognize my blessings and I am ready for more. Gratitude is a spiritual magnet, pulling greater and greater good into material form. The joyful receiver becomes the joyful attractor. Divine supply expresses itself through infinite channels. a job, a business, a client, an idea. These are only the visible paths. The moment we label one particular source as our lifeline, we unknowingly limit the universe. But when we release attachment to specific avenues, the supply becomes free to approach us in ways we could not have imagined. Money may come through unexpected gifts, unexpected opportunities, or unexpected guidance to take inspired action. The invisible is always arranging visible blessings, shaping circumstances on our behalf. We must train the mind to focus on plenty, not on absence. Whatever we dwell upon in thought, we invite into form. When we look at the world and see abundance, homes, prosperity, commerce, creativity, we align with that energy. When we look and see only limitation, we reinforce a belief that there is not enough. The world becomes a mirror reflecting back what we assume to be true. Therefore, to transform financial conditions, we must first transform inner perception. Divine supply cannot diminish. If every person alive suddenly stepped into great wealth, the universal storehouse would remain full. It is spiritual substance, limitless, expanding, and self-renewing. When we give, we do not reduce our supply, we activate the circulation that ensures more returns to us. Money is happiest when it moves, just as energy is happiest when it flows. Hoarding out of fear stops circulation and signals lack consciousness. Giving with joy signals abundance, consciousness, and invites wealth to move toward us again. The moment we trust divine supply fully, fear melts like ice in the warmth of the sun. Anxiety over bills, rent, or future stability loses its power. We recognize that we are supported by a source that never falters. How different life becomes when we understand that nothing can separate us from the good that is ours by divine law. Not age, not economic climate, not past mistakes, not missed opportunities. Every moment holds fresh potential for increase. In truth, we are stewards of prosperity, not beggars seeking crumbs. The universe asks only that we think in harmony with its laws. If we think constrictively, supply constricts. If we think expansively, supply expands. The world of spirit responds to the expectation we maintain. A mind that anticipates miracles will find them. A mind that anticipates disappointment will experience it. Divine supply is impartial, obedient, and immediate to belief. We must begin each day with a deep inner knowing that life supports us financially in every way, that every need is met before it is spoken, that opportunities seek us out, that money comes in right ways, through right action, and right timing. When we hold this certainty, we walk through life with ease instead of fear. We become receptive to guidance, nudges, ideas, and intuition that lead us to our supply. Divine direction always accompanies divine provision. Every financial challenge is a call to expand our trust, not retreat into worry. When something appears to be taken away, often something greater is making space to arrive. When one door closes, it is not a punishment. It is a redirection toward a larger door. The universe is never subtracting from us, it is always increasing us, even if the increase is not immediately visible. We align with infinite supply by remembering where true wealth originates. It does not come from people, institutions, or circumstances. These are channels only. Our source is the limitless spirit, the creator of all channels. When one channel dries up, another appears. The river of supply never stops flowing, because the source never sleeps, never weakens, never withdraws its support. The moment we internalize this truth, we are free from the illusion of dependence on anything external. To claim unlimited supply, we must release the old stories of struggle and scarcity. Many inherited beliefs about money must be dissolved. Beliefs taught by society, family, or a world that fears not having enough. These beliefs served us once as protection, but now they act as chains. The universe invites us to drop them and step into a new identity, one who is worthy of abundance, capable of abundance, and connected eternally to abundance. The mind that accepts this becomes a powerful magnet for prosperity. The heart that trusts this begins to radiate calm assurance. Life responds by shifting, rearranging, and unfolding in abundance. Divine supply is always present and unlimited. The universe is an endless reservoir of substance, a ceaseless current of life and provision, flowing through every corner of existence. Nothing can exhaust it, and nothing can diminish it. All good already exists in the invisible realm of spirit, waiting to take form through our faith and recognition. When we say there is lack, we only describe the condition of our own thought, for lack is not a spiritual fact, but a human illusion born of fear and false perception. The same infinite intelligence that provides the air we breathe and the light of the sun provides every material and spiritual resource we could ever need. The supply is not something to earn, struggle for, or chase. It is something to align with, to accept as our divine birthright. The substance of supply is spiritual, not material. Everything we can touch, hold, or spend is but a manifestation of invisible energy translated through form. This invisible energy is inexhaustible. It flows wherever consciousness allows it. When the mind believes in limitation, the flow narrows. When the mind believes in plenty, the flow widens. What we call wealth or poverty is nothing more than the outward reflection of this inner circulation. The key is not to demand that supply appear, but to remove every barrier of disbelief that prevents its appearance. When we align our thoughts with abundance, we tune ourselves to the rhythm of the infinite, and all that we require begins to move toward us naturally. Divine supply cannot be hoarded, for it exists only in circulation. Just as the heart must pump blood through the body for life to continue, we must allow giving and receiving to remain in motion. When fear stops the giving, fear also stops the receiving. The person who clings tightly to what they have because they fear loss cuts off the very channel through which new supply would arrive. Faith keeps the current open, allowing money, ideas, and opportunities to move freely through our lives. When we give joyfully, we declare to the universe that we trust its endless flow. That trust magnetizes even greater abundance. Every living thing operates under the same law of supply. The trees never fear a shortage of rain. The rivers do not wonder if they will run dry. The birds never question where their food will come from. They live in perfect trust of the divine rhythm that sustains them. Humanity, with its reasoning mind, often interrupts this rhythm with worry, doubt, and control. Yet the same principle that governs nature governs our finances. If we release anxiety and move in harmony with spiritual law, our needs are met in perfect time and order. Divine supply cannot fail, for it is sustained by divine intelligence, not by human effort alone. The channels of supply are infinite. A job, a business, a client, or a friend may serve as the visible form through which supply comes, but none of these are the source itself. The source is spirit, ever creative, ever resourceful, ever generous. When one channel closes, another opens. There can never be a shortage of ways for good to reach us. When we stop insisting that supply must come through a particular person or opportunity, we free the universe to surprise us with greater blessings. Our task is to stay receptive, to expect good from everywhere, and to let go of the narrow vision that limits our possibilities. Faith in divine supply transforms daily living. Instead of approaching life as a series of financial battles, we begin to see it as a cooperative dance with the infinite. Every bill that arrives is an opportunity to affirm divine substance pays this in full. Every unexpected expense is a reminder that there is more than enough circulating in the unseen. We replace worry with praise, anxiety with gratitude, and the whole tone of life lifts. This change in vibration alters the outer world, drawing to us experiences and opportunities that match our new frequency of trust and expectancy. We must remember that divine supply works through law, not chance. The law responds to belief, to the pictures we hold in mind and the feelings we nurture in the heart. When we imagine shortage, the law obediently shapes experiences of shortage. When we imagine plenty, the law faithfully produces abundance. It never judges. It only executes the design impressed upon it. Therefore, our work is to discipline the imagination and emotion so that they vibrate with ideas of fullness, sufficiency, and constant increase. Every thought of plenty strengthens the current. Every grateful word multiplies the good already at hand. Gratitude is the key that opens the floodgates of supply. When we give thanks for what we have, no matter how small, we affirm our faith in the continuous generosity of the universe. Gratitude dissolves feelings of lack and fear, lifting our consciousness to a plane where only abundance can exist. A thankful heart becomes magnetic, attracting all that corresponds to its vibration of joy. When we bless what we have, it multiplies. When we complain about what we lack, it withers. The law is simple and unfailing. There is no season for supply, no timing when spirit is more generous or less. The divine storehouse is perpetually open, waiting on our recognition. We do not need to strive or beg for what is already ours. We need only accept it mentally and act as though it is already present. The act of faith precedes the appearance. When we step forward confidently, circumstances begin to rearrange themselves in our favor. People, ideas, and resources appear as if by miracle, but it is simply law fulfilling our inner pattern. Divine supply is impersonal. It does not favor one person over another. It moves where it is welcomed. Every person who understands and applies the law of abundance experiences its certainty. The farmer who plants seed knows that the soil will not decide to favor one seed and deny another. It will yield according to what is sown. So, too, will spirit yield to each mind according to what it sows in thought and emotion. This truth frees us from envy or comparison. There is no competition in divine substance, for everyone can have all they desire without diminishing another's portion. The belief in limited supply has caused much suffering and conflict in the world. People grasp, hoard, and fight because they fear there is not enough. But the enlightened soul knows there is infinite room for all to prosper. The universe is constantly expanding, generating new forms of wealth, new opportunities, new ideas. The creative power that birthed galaxies can surely supply rent, food, and comfort. The only requirement is alignment with the divine principle that abundance is everywhere present, awaiting recognition and expression through us. Forgiveness dissolves financial blockages. Many people look to the outer world for the cause of their money troubles, assuming that lack is created by the actions of others, by circumstances, or by systems beyond their control. Yet the deeper truth is that most blockages to supply are emotional and spiritual. When the heart holds resentment, anger, jealousy, or bitterness, the mind closes the door to abundance. These emotional knots restrict the flow of divine substance, preventing wealth from reaching us in its natural and rightful way. Every grudge is like a stone placed in the river of prosperity, causing the waters of good to slow or stop altogether. Not because supply has evaporated, but because consciousness has erected a barrier. Everything in the universe flows. Money is energy that seeks movement, exchange, and circulation. When we cling to old hurts or blame others for past disappointments, we trap energy in a stagnant place. Forgiveness is the sacred act that releases this trapped energy, clears the channels, and restores circulation. Many struggle financially because they have not released someone from their mental courtroom, a former partner, an employer, a friend, a business associate. They believe resentment protects them, but resentment only punishes the one who holds it. It keeps us chained to the past and blocks every blessing trying to reach us in the present. Forgiveness does not excuse harmful behavior, it liberates the forgiver. It cuts the invisible cords that tie us to the very situations we wish to escape. When we forgive, we reclaim our power. We consciously declare that no person or event can obstruct our good. Spirit is the source of our supply, not any human being. The moment we acknowledge this, financial freedom begins to unfold. The person who wronged us was merely a channel, not the origin of money or opportunity. When that channel closes, another can open instantly if the heart remains unburdened by resentment. Some people unconsciously believe they do not deserve wealth because they have not forgiven themselves. They carry guilt from past decisions, mistakes in spending, failed business ventures, debts, or times when they misused money. This self-judgment creates a belief that loss is deserved and abundance would be unfair. The universe reflects back whatever beliefs we hold as truth. Therefore, self-forgiveness is just as essential as forgiving others. To open the gates of prosperity, one must release the inner critic and embrace the truth that every moment is a fresh beginning. The infinite has no memory of error, only the potential for renewal. Forgiveness heals the mind, and a healed mind becomes receptive to inspiration and divine ideas. Prosperity often appears through new thoughts, creative insights, new directions, intuitive guidance. But when the mind is clouded by negative emotions, intuition becomes muffled. Worry and bitterness create static that blocks the messages meant to lead us to abundance. By forgiving, we quiet the noise and make room for wisdom to speak. The answer we seek may have been waiting patiently the whole time, unable to be heard through the storm of unresolved emotion. Financial blockages can also be tied to envy. When we look upon the success of others with jealousy, we push our own prosperity further away. Jealousy declares silently, supply is limited, and the universe responds by confirming that belief. But forgiveness of jealousy, replacing envy with celebration, aligns us with the truth that good is boundless and available to all. Every success we witness is proof that prosperity is circulating, that wealth is active and expanding. Blessing another's abundance invites that same energy to flow toward us. Forgiveness transforms comparison into inspiration. A mindful lifestyle integrates activation into. Some hold resentment toward money itself. They have been taught that money is the root of greed, corruption, or suffering, and this belief creates conflict. On one hand, they desire financial freedom. On the other, they judge the very thing they want. Such inner contradiction keeps wealth at a distance. Forgiveness toward money means releasing the belief that money is harmful and accepting it as a neutral tool that amplifies the intentions of the heart. In the hands of a loving person, money becomes a force of healing and blessing. By forgiving money and allowing a healthy relationship with it, we open the channel through which it can enter our lives with ease. Forgiveness also restores harmony in relationships, and relationships are often the blueprint for financial exchanges. Opportunities emerge through people, income grows through cooperation, blessings move through networks of connection. When relationships are strained by unspoken wounds or harsh judgments, bridges collapse. Forgiveness rebuilds these bridges or creates new ones entirely. As peace returns to our interactions, we attract supportive partnerships, helpful allies, and divine appointments that elevate our financial experience. The act of forgiveness requires faith. It asks us to trust that releasing the past will not leave us vulnerable but strengthened. It asks us to believe that letting go does not mean losing. It means making space for more. When we forgive, we align with the highest spiritual truth. Nothing real can be taken from us. The good that is ours can never be stolen, delayed, or destroyed. It may be temporarily diverted, but it will return through a different and better channel as soon as we withdraw emotional resistance. Forgiveness is not always instant. Sometimes hurt lingers, asking for repeated release. Each time we choose forgiveness, even if the feeling has not yet caught up, we weaken the chains that hold us. Eventually, the heart becomes light, and the flow of abundance returns with renewed strength. The process is sacred, and every step expands our capacity to receive. To forgive is to free oneself from mental poverty. It is to declare that love, not resentment, is the governing force of life. When love governs, prosperity cannot help but appear. Forgiveness invites miracles because it removes the walls that once shut miracles out. It sweeps the path clean for blessings that have been circling, waiting for the opportunity to enter. It restores harmony between the inner and outer worlds, making us receptive to every form of good that Spirit intends for us. The wealth we desire already exists in potential form. It waits patiently for a consciousness ready to receive it without obstruction, without fear, without bitterness. Forgiveness clears the path, opens the gates, softens the heart, and makes room for the divine flow of abundance to rush in once again. Expectancy magnetizes wealth. When we expect good things to happen, we become a beacon that attracts abundance from every direction. Expectancy is the active form of faith. It is faith with its sleeves rolled up, ready to receive. To expect is to know that something wonderful is already on its way, and that the universe is orchestrating every detail to bring it into form. This inner assurance sends a powerful signal into the unseen, calling forth opportunities, resources, ideas, and favorable circumstances. Expectancy is a magnet that draws prosperity with unwavering certainty. Many people believe in abundance on an intellectual level, yet continue to expect disappointment. They hope for financial improvement while silently anticipating something will go wrong. This split in consciousness prevents manifestation because the law responds to our dominant feeling, not our polite wishes. To attract wealth, expectation must be joyful and confident, free from doubt or fear. We cannot expect both failure and success and then wonder why supply seems confused. The universe is direct. It gives us what we truly expect. Expectation shapes our behavior. A person who expects increase walks differently, makes bolder choices, speaks with assurance, and is guided toward the right action. They step forward even if they cannot yet see the full path, because they trust that each step invites the next one to appear. When we expect abundance, we treat every moment as preparation for receiving it. We organize finances, make room for success, and align our thoughts with prosperity. The inner attitude activates the outer results. Expectation lifts our vision. Instead of noticing limitations, we begin to notice doors opening. Instead of focusing on what is missing, we focus on what is possible. This adjustment of perception is powerful because opportunities often exist right in front of us, unnoticed by those who expect lack. A person expecting good sees divine order even in temporary setbacks and refuses to interpret challenges as signs of failure. Expectancy looks through appearances and sees potential. There are those who live in fear of life, anticipating difficulty at every turn. Their minds rehearse worries before they even occur. And because expectation is creative, those worries form conditions that reflect those fears. The person who repeatedly says, "Knowing my luck, something bad will happen," has issued a decree, and the universe fulfills it faithfully. Expectation operates whether we use it wisely or unwisely. The same law that can bring wealth can also produce lack if negative expectations dominate. Therefore, our inner focus must be trained carefully. It must have training. Joyful expectancy is not mere optimism, it is spiritual authority. It is knowing that the universe delights in fulfilling our requests and that supply is constantly seeking expression. Expectation is the open door. Where there is no expectancy, blessings find no entry point. Hoping weakly keeps desires distant, but expecting firmly allows desires to step into physical reality. When we expect without hesitation, we communicate clearly. I am ready. My good comes now. Gratitude fuels expectancy. When we give thanks in advance for the wealth we know is coming, we align with the energetic frequency of receiving. Gratitude says, "It is already done in the invisible, and I await its arrival with joy." This attitude forms a channel through which abundance can flow without resistance. Complaints, however, signal a belief in delay or injustice and block circulation. Expectancy and gratitude together create a vibration so magnetic that supply rushes to meet it. Every invention, every fortune, every success story began with someone expecting something greater than what appeared. Expectation expands imagination, and imagination is the blueprint of manifestation. When we envision a life of prosperity and expect it to emerge, the subconscious mind begins to organize everything needed to build that life. People are drawn in, ideas awaken, timing becomes perfect, and the impossible becomes achievable. Expectation commands the unseen forces to rise and take form. The body responds to expectation as well. A person expecting good feels inspired, energized, and motivated. They take better care of themselves, understanding that they are preparing for a future filled with purpose. The mind becomes alert, receptive to hints and guidance that lead to financial advancement. Life feels lighter because expectancy carries the vibration of trust. Stress diminishes as faith increases. All of this contributes to creating ideal conditions for prosperity to unfold effortlessly. Expectation dissolves hesitation. Where there is expectancy, there is no room for the question, will it happen, but instead the certainty, how and when will it unfold. This subtle shift changes everything. The person who expects success never wonders whether they are worthy, for they know that abundance responds to alignment, not to self-doubt. They do not wait to feel ready. They trust themselves enough to act. Expectancy removes the paralysis of fear. The law of expectancy often works through intuition. When we expect increase, we pay attention to intuitive nudges. An idea to call someone, a feeling to start a project, a sudden inspiration that seems too perfect to ignore. These impulses are divine guidance showing us the path to our good. Expectation sharpens awareness, allowing us to recognize these signals instead of overlooking them as coincidence. When we follow intuition fueled by expectancy, we walk directly into the flow of abundance. Even when conditions appear stagnant, expectation keeps the heart open and receptive. Waiting becomes peaceful rather than anxious. Divine timing is never late. It unfolds at the exact moment that ensures lasting success. Expectancy trusts this timing and continues to hold the vision firmly, regardless of appearances. That faith is the anchor that keeps wealth on its path toward us. Expectancy also frees us from living in the past. Old disappointments lose their power because expectation is focused forward, not backward. We stop predicting future outcomes based on former limitations. New thoughts create new results. Every moment becomes a fresh opportunity for something wonderful to occur. Expectation rewrites destiny by rewriting belief. The more we expect abundance, the more abundance expects us in return. We build a relationship with prosperity, one based on familiarity rather than longing. Expectancy and wealth become companions, drawn together by the magnetic force of belief. Prosperity feels at home in a consciousness that sees it as natural. There is an atmosphere to expectancy, one of openness, enthusiasm, and readiness. It radiates outward and influences others. People feel drawn to support those who believe in their own success. Helpful relationships form, beneficial agreements appear, and financial blessings flow through human channels inspired by our confident energy. Expectancy is contagious, energizing our surroundings and inviting mutual upliftment. When we live in expectancy, we align with the truth that the universe is generous and ever-expanding. We realize that prosperity is not a rare occurrence, but a continuous flow that only requires our acceptance. Every desire for more is a signal that more is already on its way. Expectancy says yes to that signal. It says yes to the infinite. It says yes to receiving every blessing that has been waiting to reach us. Understanding the purpose of your life is not a quest of striving, but a revelation of remembering. Every soul arrives on this earth with a divine blueprint, a sacred design etched into the heart before the first breath is taken. You are not here by accident or coincidence. You are a purposeful creation, guided by invisible laws that are always working for your highest good. Within you lies a radiant truth, waiting to be awakened. Your life has meaning because you were spoken into existence by infinite intelligence. The moment you recognize this, the world around you begins to shift, and doors once sealed tight begin to open as if by magic. You were not sent to wander lost in confusion. Instead, life is constantly whispering hints, tiny signs, intuitive nudges, unexpected opportunities, all pushing you toward your divine path. When you feel the pull of a desire, a dream that refuses to fade, that is life calling you back to your purpose. Desire is the voice of destiny. It is the universe telling you, this is what I have prepared for you. Too often, however, fear and doubt step in, convincing you that the dream is too large, the path too uncertain. But the truth remains. If the divine plan has placed a longing in your heart, then all provision and support are already prepared on your behalf. Your purpose is never imposed upon you, it is drawn out from within you. It is not about becoming someone else, but remembering who you truly are. At your core, you are powerful, capable, and spiritually equipped. Your gifts are not random. Your talents are not ordinary. Everything you love, everything that lights you up, everything that feels like joy, these are clues. Life is a grand spiritual treasure hunt, and every joy you follow brings you closer to the hidden gold of your purpose. When you align with your true calling, a miraculous harmony forms between your inner world and outer conditions. Struggles dissolve, resistance fades, and life begins to flow. The right people arrive at the perfect moment, resources glide into your hands without strain, and opportunities appear as if summoned by your belief. This is the law of divine timing, the orchestration of forces that have always been preparing the way for you. The universe loves a mind and heart that say yes to their purpose. Your purpose is not merely a career, a role, or a single accomplishment. It is the expression of your highest self. It is the love you bring, the truth you live, the faith you walk in each day. There is a perfect place that only you can fill. There is a song only you can sing. There is a life only you can live. To step into your purpose is to step into your birthright, to experience freedom, abundance, joy, and unshakable peace. You are here to shine, you are here to bless, you are here to reveal the divine through the uniqueness of your journey. And the moment you claim this truth, the universe rises to meet you. You were created with a divine blueprint, and purpose is a truth that stands at the center of your existence. Before you appeared in this physical world, before you learned a name, a language, or a role, you were already whole, already complete, already endowed with a sacred mission. You did not come here to struggle your way into worthiness, nor to search endlessly for validation from the outside world. You came already carrying the essence of your purpose, like a hidden jewel resting deep within your soul. The infinite mind, the divine creator, does not make mistakes or extras. Everything in creation is intentional, and you are no exception. Your life was imagined by a limitless and loving intelligence that formed you exactly as you were meant to be, with every attribute, inclination, and passion intricately woven into your spiritual design. Within you rests a blueprint more accurate and profound than any worldly plan. It cannot be erased, altered, or lost. Even when you stray from your path, even when you doubt yourself or feel disconnected, the truth remains. Your purpose is still there, glowing within, waiting for your recognition. Every breath you take is a reminder that life has chosen you for a reason. Your existence is an assignment, and that assignment is tailored uniquely for you. No one else can fulfill it. No one else can walk your path. You were equipped with the precise skills, sensitivities, strengths, and even challenges that shape the very journey designed to awaken your highest potential. Many people look outside themselves for answers, hoping society, success, or circumstance will reveal why they are here. But the blueprint is internal. It speaks through intuition, through the persistent voice of desire, through the feeling of being alive when you do what you love. The external world merely reflects what has already been decided within. When you feel pulled towards something with excitement or curiosity, that is the divine plan communicating. When your heart whispers a dream that refuses to disappear, it is not wishful thinking. It is destiny reminding you of what you are meant to claim. Purpose is not discovered, it is remembered. It rises slowly into your awareness as you remove the layers of fear, doubt, and conditioning that have covered your natural knowing. There is nothing random about the qualities you possess. Your compassion, your creativity, your analytical mind, your courage, your desire for justice, your love for beauty, your ability to inspire or to heal. These are keys. They are spiritual tools designed for the work you are here to do. Even the traits you once viewed as flaws, the sensitivity that made you feel too emotional, the imagination that made you feel lost in dreams, the boldness that made others uncomfortable. These have divine purpose. Everything the Creator placed in you has sacred intention. As you evolve, you begin to see that what you once struggled with grows into your greatest gift. The challenges that tested you became the chisels sculpting your strength and wisdom. The wounds you carried taught you empathy and depth. Nothing is wasted in the divine blueprint. Every experience, joyful or painful, becomes part of the architecture of your purpose. Life is not meant to be a guessing game. It is designed as a guided journey. Signs appear at every turn. Synchronicities align like stepping stones beneath your feet. People cross your path to support or redirect you. The universe continually works to bring you back to the blueprint within. When something feels impossible or unsupported, it is usually because it does not align with your true design. When something feels natural, exciting, or blessed with unexpected ease, it is because you are moving in harmony with your intended purpose. The law of life is always pushing you toward the direction where your spirit can express its fullest truth. Your purpose does not demand that you become someone new. It asks you to become who you were created to be. To live your purpose is to live with authenticity. It is to remove the masks you have worn to please others or to fit into expectations that were never meant for you. When you return to your essence, when you honor what feels right and true within, you activate the power of your spiritual blueprint. You become a magnet for the opportunities that match your destiny. The right ideas come at the right time. The right people appear with the right support. It is not forced or controlled. It unfolds as naturally as a flower when sunlight touches its petals. There is profound order in your existence. You were brought into this world at the exact time and into the exact environment that would set the stage for your awakening. The family you were born into, the cultures you were exposed to, the challenges you faced growing up, all of these elements were chosen as part of your preparation. Even the moments that seemed unfair or difficult were shaping you into the person capable of fulfilling your purpose. Spiritual architecture is precise. Every detail contributes to who you are becoming. When you feel restless or unfulfilled, it is your inner blueprint signaling that you are being called to rise into the next phase of your purpose. Dissatisfaction is not failure, it is guidance. It tells you that you are capable of more, meant for more, aligned with something higher than what you are currently living. Your soul refuses to settle because it remembers its divine promise. The calling placed within you cannot be silenced, even if ignored. It simply waits patiently, nudging you forward whenever you are ready to listen. To embrace your divine blueprint is to trust the perfection of your creation. You are not lacking anything needed for your destiny. You do not need to chase worthiness or gather permission from the world. You already contain the wisdom, power, and brilliance that your purpose requires. Life supports you fully when you choose to align with the truth of who you are. Faith becomes the key that unlocks the doors prepared for you. When you step boldly into the direction of your calling, you activate the laws of abundance, synchronicity, and divine support. The universe loves a soul that embraces its purpose. You were created as a unique expression of the divine. Your thoughts, your passions, your dreams, they were selected for you with care and love. Nothing about you is a mistake. Nothing about your journey is accidental. You are a masterpiece in motion, unfolding into the design written upon your spirit from the beginning of time. Your divine blueprint is calling for recognition, inviting you to step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Desire is the voice of destiny, guiding your path, a spiritual signal that arises from the deepest part of your being. It is not something you manufacture through effort or competition. It is born from within, a whisper placed in your heart long before you ever knew how to articulate it. Every true desire carries a vibration of divine instruction. It arrives already encoded with the power to fulfill itself. You do not chase your destiny, it calls to you. It speaks through the ideas that excite you, the visions that repeat in your imagination. the dreams that continue to resurface no matter how many times you attempt to dismiss them as unrealistic or inconvenient. Desire is the language of your soul, communicating what you are meant to become, where you are meant to go, and what gifts you are meant to share in this world. So often, people are taught that desire is selfish or materialistic, something to suppress or ignore in order to be seen as humble or practical. But genuine desire is not rooted in ego. It does not come from fear, insecurity, or comparison. True desire is a sacred reminder of the abundant life you were meant to enjoy. It is the force that pulls you toward your highest good. You feel it as passion, as curiosity, as energy that awakens you from within. When you listen to it, life expands. When you suppress it, life contracts. The divine never places a longing in the heart without also providing the ability and rightful means to manifest it. If a dream is persistent, if an idea refuses to fade, if something within you is constantly imagining yourself in a certain role or place, that is destiny signaling that the path belongs to you. You may not yet know how it will unfold, but the blueprint is already complete. The steps you need will appear one by one as you begin to move toward the desire. Desire is like a magnetic force that draws to you the opportunities, resources, and relationships necessary for its realization. What you seek is also seeking you. The moment the desire arrives in your heart, the universe begins aligning circumstances in your favor. Desire is deeply connected to joy. Anything that brings genuine joy is a pointer toward purpose. When you feel alive and inspired, when creativity flows effortlessly, and time seems to disappear, you are experiencing alignment with destiny. Joy is not frivolous, it is a spiritual indicator. The feeling of joy means this is right for you, this is part of the divine plan. You are moving in harmony with your purpose. The world often glorifies struggle as proof of worthiness, but the soul recognizes joy as a sign of truth. Joy is a divine compass. There are people who fear their desires because they believe they are impossible. They have been conditioned to think small, to accept limitation as reality. But desire is not limited by the world's conditions. It flows from infinite intelligence. If a desire requires resources you cannot yet see, do not assume they are not available. They exist. Perhaps not yet in your current awareness, but they will appear when you rise in faith. The invisible becomes visible through belief. Desire is the first indication that something has already been prepared for you in the spiritual realm. Every great achievement, every invention, every work of art, every movement of progress began as desire in the heart of someone who dared to trust its meaning. They followed the inner urge even when logic or others questioned it. They stepped into the unknown with faith that destiny was leading them somewhere specific and necessary. The divine plan is too intelligent to rely on chance. When desire burns within you, it is because the world requires what you are being called to create or become. Sometimes, desire first appears as dissatisfaction with where you are. When life feels restrictive or dull, when you feel a quiet ache for something more, that is destiny pushing you out of comfort and into expansion. Discomfort is a spiritual nudge, a reminder that you are not meant to settle where you are. Desire awakens when the soul is ready for its next level of expression. It is the energy of evolution moving through you. The butterfly cannot remain a caterpillar once it has grown wings. Likewise, you cannot remain in a life that no longer reflects who you are becoming. There may be obstacles that test your willingness to trust the desire. These challenges are not meant to block you. They are meant to strengthen your faith, sharpen your clarity, and solidify your commitment to the life that is calling you. Many abandon their dreams at the first sign of difficulty, assuming the hardship means the desire was wrong. But often, the greatest resistance appears just before the breakthrough. Desire does not promise an effortless journey, but it does promise a guided one. What is meant for you will continue to call you, even through moments of uncertainty. Comparing yourself to others can create confusion about desire. You may see someone else excel at something and assume you should want the same success, but imitation is not inspiration. True desire feels personal. It carries a sense of belonging, like a life that fits only you. It reflects your own brilliance, not a replica of someone else's dream. When you follow your authentic desire, you unlock gifts that only you possess. The world does not need more copies. It needs your uniqueness in full expression. There is also a divine timing to every desire. Some must unfold gradually, preparing you along the way. A dream may require inner growth, healing, or the development of skills and wisdom before it can manifest fully. Patience is part of the process, not as passive waiting but as intentional preparation. Destiny never rushes, but it is always precise. What is meant for you will not pass you by, and when the moment arrives, you will be ready in ways you may not yet understand. Desire also speaks through imagination, giving you glimpses of your future before you live it. When you visualize something with excitement, when you can feel it emotionally before it has arrived physically, you are aligning with destiny. The imagination is a spiritual preview, showing you what already exists in the realm of possibility. Those mental pictures are not fantasy, they are guidance. To honor desire is to honor the divine within you. It is to acknowledge that the universe expresses itself through your dreams and inspirations. You become a co-creator with infinite intelligence, shaping reality according to what your soul knows is possible. Every time you take a step toward the life that calls you, the universe meets you with support. The path may not be fully visible today, but the light of desire will always illuminate the next step. Your gifts and passions are clues to your true calling, because nothing you are drawn to is random or accidental. Every interest that sparks life within you, every activity that brings you joy, every ability that feels natural and effortless, these are spiritual signposts pointing you toward your purpose. The divine does not hide your path in confusion. Instead, it reveals it through the things that resonate deeply with who you are. The world teaches many to ignore what they love in favor of what seems practical or profitable. But the soul communicates through passion. Passion is the energy that reveals where you are meant to direct your time, your creativity, and your devotion. It is the feeling that tells you, this is part of your destiny. Your gifts are not given merely for personal enjoyment. They are entrusted to you for expression, for contribution, for the uplifting of your own life and the lives of others. Within every person is a sacred combination of talents and inclinations that no one else possesses in the same way. This uniqueness is by divine intention. The world needs what only you can offer. When you operate in your gifts, you are fulfilling your purpose in the most natural way. You feel empowered, fulfilled, and aligned because you are acting in harmony with your true spiritual design. Think of how easily a bird flies or how naturally a flower blooms. They do not force their expression. Their purpose is encoded into their being. Likewise, what comes naturally to you holds tremendous spiritual importance. The things you do without strain, the insights you have, the kindness you show, the creativity that flows from you, are direct evidence of your role in the greater plan. Your calling is not hidden behind tasks that drain your energy or roles that feel restrictive. It is revealed in what brings you alive, what sparks curiosity, what makes you lose track of time because your spirit is fully engaged. Often, people dismiss their passions because they seem too simple, too common, or too joyful. They believe that purpose must be something serious or difficult. Yet, purpose is always aligned with ease, because the divine equips you for what you are meant to do. Your gifts are the tools you were given for the journey ahead. You would not be given a desire for something you are incapable of achieving, or a gift that has no place in your future. Every passion is a message, every talent is a map. When you follow them, you are guided directly into the life that awaits you. Your gifts are also connected to the experiences that shaped you. The challenges you survived, the lessons you learned, the strengths you cultivated through difficulty, all of these become woven into what you are meant to offer the world. Your ability to listen deeply may have come from a childhood where you wished someone would listen to you. Your empathy may have grown through moments of heartbreak or loss. Your resilience may have been strengthened through adversity that once seemed unbearable. What once felt like hardship becomes the very foundation of wisdom and contribution. Nothing you have lived is wasted. Your story becomes your medicine, your testimony, your gift to others who are still on the path you once walked. Passion is the energetic fuel that propels you toward your purpose. Without it, life becomes routine and uninspired. With it, every day holds meaning and possibility. When you engage in activities that align with your gifts, you tap into a higher flow of creativity. Ideas emerge effortlessly. Solutions appear and opportunities align. This is not coincidence. It is the universe responding to alignment. When you honor what you were created to do, the world supports you. The right people, resources, and circumstances gravitate toward your purpose with perfect timing. Some people fear acknowledging their gifts because they worry about judgment, failure, or not being enough. Yet your gifts are not meant to be compared to anyone else's. They are meant to be cultivated, refined, and shared in your own way. Comparison is a distraction. It pulls your attention away from your distinctive calling. No two destinies are identical. Even if many people share a similar talent, the way you express yours is unmatched. Your vision, your voice, your style, your approach, all are uniquely yours. The divine does not create duplicates. Everything about you is intentional. Pay attention to what you love to learn about, what you naturally excel at, what others come to you for, what leaves you feeling satisfied and energized. These are clues. Passions do not persist by accident. They remain because they are aligned with your soul. They are messages saying this is important. This is part of your why. When a passion continues to return knocking at the door of your heart, it is asking to be taken seriously. It is asking for expression. Children often express their gifts freely because they have not yet been taught to doubt them. The activities they gravitate toward with excitement are often direct reflections of their purpose. Over time, however, external pressures can drown out the inner voice. That is why reconnecting with childhood joys or natural inclinations can reignite passion and clarity. The soul remembers what the world tries to make us forget. Your passions also evolve as you grow. You may discover new interests or expand old ones. This evolution is part of the divine unfolding. Purpose is not rigid. It adapts as you rise into new levels of understanding. What remains constant is the feeling of alignment. When you are operating in your purpose, you feel guided, you feel inspired, you feel a sense of rightness deep within your spirit. You are not meant to hide your gifts or mute your passions to make others comfortable. Your purpose is not dependent on approval from anyone. It is a sacred agreement between your soul and the divine. When you embrace your gifts, you honor the intelligence that created you. When you deny them, the world is deprived of the light you are here to shine. Someone, somewhere, is waiting for what only you can give. Your creativity may heal someone's heart. Your insight may solve someone's problem. Your courage may inspire someone's transformation. Your passion has a mission attached to it. The universe supports authenticity. Every time you choose to follow what feels true to your spirit, you are stepping deeper into your calling. Opportunities align not because you force them, but because you are in resonance with your destiny. Your gifts become channels through which abundance flows. Your passions open doors that would otherwise remain invisible. When you devote yourself to what you were created to do, you live a life of meaning, joy, and spiritual fulfillment. Your gifts and passions are sacred guidance. They reveal where you are meant to give, where you are meant to grow, and how you are meant to shine. They are the divine fingerprints within your soul, leading you home to your purpose, without confusion or doubt. Self-congratulance with purpose brings ease, flow, and abundance, because the universe is designed to support what is true, authentic, and divinely intended for your life. When you walk in the direction of your purpose, you move with the currents of spiritual law rather than against them. Much of the struggle people experience comes from pursuing paths that are not aligned with who they are or what they are meant to express. They push, force, and toil, believing that success must come through hardship. But alignment shifts everything. Instead of effortful striving, Life becomes a dance of synchronicity, where resources, guidance, and opportunities appear naturally and without strain. Flow is the state your soul recognizes when it is engaged in what it was created to do. It is that feeling of energy moving smoothly, without friction or resistance. You are completely present, inspired, and empowered. Time feels different, sometimes faster because you are absorbed in joy, and sometimes slower because you are savoring the moment. Flow is evidence that you are on the right path. It is the universe whispering yes to your actions. Every step feels guided because you are attuned to a higher rhythm, one that leads you forward with grace instead of pressure. Abundance follows alignment, because the divine never withholds what is necessary for your purpose. When you are living in truth, you become a magnet for prosperity in all forms. Love, opportunities, creativity, support, financial blessings, wisdom, and inner peace. Abundance is not something you chase, it is something you attract by being in harmony with your spiritual design. Your purpose generates its own supply. What you need appears right when you need it, and often in ways more miraculous than you could have planned. This is not luck, it is divine order. Many misunderstand abundance as something external, to be earned through sacrifice and stress. But abundance is a natural consequence of alignment. When you honor your gifts and follow the intuitive guidance of your soul, you are participating in the expansion of life itself. The universe rewards expansion because expansion reflects growth, creativity, and contribution. You are supported because your purpose supports the greater good. What you give through your calling comes back to you multiplied. Alignment also brings clarity. Decisions that once felt heavy or confusing become simple. Your intuition speaks louder. You feel a certainty that does not require explanations or permission. There is less fear because there is more trust. Trust in the divine plan, trust in your own capabilities, trust that you are being led exactly where you belong. Doubt fades as alignment strengthens. You no longer feel torn between what you want and what you think you should do. You know, you feel it in your body, you recognize it in your spirit. When you are misaligned, life tries to signal it through resistance. Doors close, frustration builds, exhaustion takes over, and joy becomes distant. These are not punishments, they are guidance. The universe is always redirecting you away from what is not meant for you. But too often, people interpret resistance as a sign that they must try harder, forcing themselves deeper into situations that drain them. Real effort is not supposed to feel like a constant battle. When something is right for you, the path clears, support arrives. You feel lifted rather than burdened. Synchronicity is another hallmark of alignment. Perfect timing suddenly becomes a familiar phenomenon. You think of someone and they call. You desire a solution and the answer appears. You take a step and the next one reveals itself. These are divine confirmations that you are aligned. Life becomes a conversation between you and the universe, where the universe responds to your faith with guidance that feels almost magical. Yet it is not magic, it is your birthright. Alignment creates peace, not a passive peace, but a dynamic one. A peace infused with purpose, direction, and inspiration. Even when challenges arise, you feel anchored. You know that everything has meaning and benefit. You do not feel lost or alone. You carry the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. Anxiety dissolves when you recognize that your path is not random, it is designed. Ease does not mean the absence of effort, it means the absence of struggle. There will still be actions to take, lessons to learn, skills to develop. But the energy is different. Instead of pushing uphill, you are gliding forward. Instead of uncertainty, you feel guided. Instead of exhaustion, you feel energized. You wake up excited because you are connected to something larger than yourself, a mission that fuels you and fulfills you all at once. When you honor your purpose, you enter a flow of giving and receiving that enriches every area of life. The joy you express comes back to you. The love you bring returns multiplied. The creativity you share opens new doors. The more you align, the more the universe expands your reach. You are no longer surviving, you are thriving. And this thriving is not selfish. It is your soul fulfilling its promise. Alignment also strengthens your belief. When you witness how effortlessly things unfold, when you trust your inner guidance, your faith grows. This faith becomes a power, an invisible force that shapes your reality. Fear loses influence because you have experiences that prove life is on your side. You realize that obstacles are temporary and often strategic, guiding you more precisely toward your destiny. Alignment turns challenges into stepping stones rather than blockages. Your purpose is not only meant to be known, it is meant to be lived. And when it is lived, it naturally manifests abundance. The divine does not set you on a path without preparing the way. All you are called to do is move forward, listen, trust, and allow. You do not have to convince the universe to support you. The support is already in place. You simply align with what is true, and the doors open. Flow, ease, and abundance are not rewards for a chosen few. They are the inherent results of living in alignment with your spiritual design. You were created to flourish, not struggle endlessly. You were created to experience joy, not to suppress it. You were created to succeed in the way only you can, by being who you truly are. Your life is meant to express your highest spiritual potential because within you lives a divine spark that seeks expansion, expression, and realization. You were not created to remain small, silent, or hidden. The very essence of your being is growth, an unfolding of the divine nature that was placed in you from the beginning. Every moment of your existence moves you toward a deeper understanding of who you truly are, a powerful, purposeful, and spiritually equipped being. Your presence on this earth is evidence that you have something extraordinary to bring into the world, something that only you can express. Your highest spiritual potential is not measured by worldly comparison or outer success. It is revealed through the authentic expression of your soul. It is found in how you love, how you create, how you dream, and how you rise each time life invites you to become more. You are meant to evolve beyond the limitations of fear, doubt, and external expectations. The divine within you is always guiding you toward expansion, toward a life that reflects the truth of your infinite nature. Every gift you possess, every passion that excites you, every dream that stirs in your heart is part of that potential. When you lean into what feels aligned and meaningful, you awaken your spiritual power. You step into the role you were designed to play. The world benefits when you are fully alive, fully expressed, and fully committed to becoming who you were created to be. Holding yourself back does not protect others, it deprives them of the light you are meant to shine. Your highest potential is not a destination you must strive to reach. It is a state of being you unlock each time you choose authenticity over fear. Every act of courage, every moment of self-belief, every decision to honor your soul becomes a step toward your fullest spiritual expression. The divine does not rush your journey. It unfolds through insight, transformation, and expansion at the pace that serves you best. You grow into your greatness, one moment of clarity at a time. Life continuously presents opportunities that call you into deeper alignment with your purpose. These invitations may arrive as challenges, breakthroughs, or subtle inner knowing. When something inside you says, "There is more for me," it is your potential speaking. It asks you to rise beyond comfort, beyond what you have known, into the realm of what you are capable of. Your potential is unlimited because it is rooted in the limitless nature of the divine. Fear often tries to convince you that you are unworthy or incapable of greatness. These illusions arise from old beliefs, not truth. The truth is that the moment you were created, you were given everything needed to fulfill your purpose. The divine never withholds what is essential. You are fully equipped for the life you are meant to live. Your role is to trust that inner equipment, to nurture your gifts, to embrace expansion instead of shrinking from it. Your highest potential is also deeply connected to service. Not service rooted in self-sacrifice, but service rooted in contribution. When you express your gifts, you uplift the world. When you speak your truth, you inspire others to do the same. When you live boldly, you give silent permission for others to rise. Your potential blesses others simply through expression. That is the beauty of purpose. It is inherently generous. Every experience you have lived, every triumph and every hardship, has shaped your capacity for wisdom and compassion. What you learn becomes part of what you can give. The challenges that once weighed heavy become sources of strength and insight. Where you have healed, you become a healer. Where you have found clarity, you become a guide. Where you have risen, you become a reminder to others that rising is possible for them too. To express your highest spiritual potential is to honor the divine presence within you. It is to acknowledge that your life is a sacred gift. You have been entrusted with unique abilities, perspectives, and possibilities. The world awaits your expression because your expression contributes to the evolution of the whole. Just as a single star brightens the sky, your purpose expands the brilliance of humanity. The more you shine, the more the world wakes up to its own potential. Joy is a powerful signal that you are living your spiritual potential. Joy is the frequency of alignment, the emotion of truth. When you feel joy, your soul is saying yes. It is proof that you are honoring your purpose. Spiritual potential does not feel forced or draining. It feels expansive, energizing, and alive. Even when effort is required, the effort feels meaningful and supported. The universe constantly supports your growth into your highest self. It offers guidance through intuition, inspiration, synchronicity, and opportunity. When you take one step toward your potential, the universe takes many toward you. You are never alone in the unfolding of your destiny. You are always being guided, nudged, and encouraged. You are part of a divine co-creation with infinite intelligence. Stepping into your highest potential requires belief. Belief in the divine plan and belief in yourself. You must choose to see your life as significant, your dreams as valid, and your abilities as purposeful. The moment you believe you are capable of more becomes available. Your belief activates the power that has been within you all along. Faith becomes the bridge between who you are today and who you are destined to become. Your life is a sacred invitation to rise into greatness. Not greatness defined by the world, but greatness defined by the soul. Greatness that feels like peace. Greatness that feels like purpose. Greatness that feels like truth. You are meant to awaken each day with a sense of meaning, knowing that your life is a vital expression of divine intention. You are meant to look at your reflection and recognize the power and potential that have been there all along. Your highest spiritual potential is the ultimate expression of the truth of who you are. It is your birthright, your purpose, your promise. You are not here to simply exist. You are here to expand, to evolve, and to illuminate the world by living fully and fearlessly as your truest self. Every morning is a new covenant between the soul and the infinite. As the dawn breaks, the unseen forces of supply stir, eager to rush into form at the command of the spoken word. The tongue is the rudder of destiny, and what is declared with conviction becomes the path upon which the feet must walk. The unseen becomes seen, the intangible made tangible. For words are living seeds charged with divine intelligence, ready to manifest after their own kind. The I Am is the name of the God, self within. The eternal spark that governs circumstance, draws its own to itself, and calls forth substance from the invisible storehouse of plenty. To say, I am, with faith is to decree law. It is the alignment of the little self with the great self, so that every affirmation is a command to the universe. Each morning, when the mind is clear and the spirit receptive, the declaration of I am opens the gate to abundance, establishing wealth and prosperity as one's rightful inheritance. No soul was sent into this world to live in lack. Poverty is but a shadow born of fear, and fear is a false idol. The law of supply knows no restriction. It is ceaseless, boundless, eternal. To awaken each morning and affirm abundance is to remember that riches are already prepared, waiting to be claimed. The soul must speak with authority, for the subconscious hears and obeys, bringing forth into matter that which has been decreed in spirit. When one says, I am wealth, the infinite substance responds, quickening opportunities, drawing favorable conditions, aligning people, and arranging events. Nothing is withheld, for the universe is impartial and exact. The word spoken with conviction is the word made flesh. Therefore, to rise each morning and affirm prosperity is to sow seeds in the fertile soil of the day, ensuring a harvest of increase, harmony, and joy. The power of these affirmations lies not in idle repetition, but in the living belief that the word has already gone forth and will not return void. To say I am abundance is to embody it now, not tomorrow, not someday, but in this very breath. The spirit of plenty surrounds every soul, waiting for recognition. What is recognized grows, what is denied diminishes. Thus, to affirm wealth is to give it life in the present moment. The law works through faith, and faith is substance unseen yet already secure. As one awakens with the morning sun and declares truth, the invisible streams of prosperity flow into visible channels. Every affirmation is a brushstroke painting the canvas of the day with beauty, freedom, and overflowing supply. The spoken word is law and shapes destiny. From the beginning of creation it has been so. For the universe itself was called forth by the utterance of the divine. Let there be light. And light appeared. The power of the word is not confined to the infinite alone, for man, made in the image and likeness of that same creative principle, holds within his own tongue the key to form his world. Words are not idle sounds passing through the air, they are charged with force, vibrating with energy, clothed in life. Every word spoken with intention is a seed cast into the fertile soil of the unseen, destined to bear fruit after its kind. The law is exact and impartial. It returns to the speaker what has been sown, for words are carriers of belief. They shape thought, and thought is the mold into which life flows. When words of lack are spoken, lack manifests. When words of fear are uttered, fear finds a form. Yet when words of power, faith, and abundance are declared, the path clears and opportunities spring forth. Destiny is not a blind accident, nor is it an unknown fate carved by unseen hands. It is the sum of words spoken consistently. For the subconscious is obedient, and the outer world mirrors what has been decreed. Each declaration sets a vibration in motion, and that vibration attracts its likeness. To say, I never prosper, is to place a chain around one's supply, binding abundance with cords of doubt. To say, I am prospered, is to open the floodgates, calling forth riches from unexpected avenues. The spoken word becomes law because it is aligned with belief, and belief creates the mold through which spirit expresses. Therefore, it is not enough to wish in silence, the word must be uttered, for sound holds power beyond thought alone. The vibration of the voice carries the decree outward, stamping it upon the ethers, compelling manifestation. Destiny is not determined by circumstances, but by the continual proclamation of the soul. Those who say they are unlucky, poor, or cursed simply affirm it into their lives, weaving with their own tongue the very fabric of misfortune. Those who declare favor, wealth, and health align with a different current, attracting all that corresponds to their words. The law does not question, does not argue, does not weigh the worthiness of the one who speaks, it simply obeys. As a seed does not choose the soil, but grows where it is planted, so too do words bear fruit without judgment. The spoken word is creative in nature because it is rooted in the I am. When one says, I am, he speaks as the divine, identifying with power, aligning with eternal being. To follow, I am, with words of poverty is to misuse the sacred, to attach the infinite to limitation. To follow, I am, with words of strength, abundance, and peace is to command life to bring forth those very qualities. In every utterance of I am, the soul binds itself to that which is declared. The law is absolute, the word spoken is the word made flesh. In the morning when the mind is fresh and the day unformed, the spoken word is especially potent. At that hour, the soul has not yet clothed itself with the dust of the world, and the subconscious is most receptive. To awaken and say, I am guided, I am prospered, I am wealthy, is to establish the law for the day. The unseen immediately begins to arrange itself to fulfill the command, bringing forth people, events, and conditions in harmony with the decree. Those who understand this law shape their destiny deliberately. Those who ignore it drift upon currents of chance, not knowing they themselves are the authors of their fate. The word shapes destiny because it creates expectancy. Expectancy is faith clothed in anticipation, the assurance that what has been spoken will surely come to pass. The mind begins to look for proof, and the law supplies it. Speak of obstacles, and the path fills with them. Speak of favor, and doors open. The world responds in exact accordance with the vibration one has set forth. No idle word is without effect, for the law is as sure as the rising of the sun. The spoken word becomes the framework around which the fabric of life is woven. Even in Scripture it is written that life and death are in the power of the tongue. This is no idle metaphor but an exact law. Words may build kingdoms or bring them to ruin. They may heal the body or bind it with infirmity. They may open channels of wealth or close them tight. To speak is to create, and to create is to shape the path ahead. The wise guard their tongue, speaking only that which they desire to see. The unwise scatter words of fear and doubt, only to reap their bitter harvest. The destiny of man is written in his daily affirmations, in the casual words spoken without thought, in the repeated phrases that flow from the lips day after day. Every complaint is a decree. Every declaration of failure is a command. Yet so too is every statement of joy, every proclamation of abundance, every affirmation of power. The word never returns void, but accomplishes that which it is sent forth to do. The soil of the subconscious holds no judgment. It receives the seed and nurtures it until it springs forth in visible form. The harvest is always in proportion to the seed planted, and the seed is always the spoken word. Thus, the spoken word is law, unchanging, impartial, eternal. It shapes destiny by calling into being that which is affirmed. To declare wealth is to align with wealth. To declare abundance is to set abundance in motion. To declare strength is to embody strength. The tongue holds the key to the kingdom, and the lips are the doorway through which life's riches or life's burdens are invited to enter. The creative word, charged with faith and spoken with conviction, is the very tool by which destiny is carved. I am connects the self with infinite supply. Within those two sacred words lies the essence of creation itself, the eternal name of the divine, declared through the voice of man. When one utters, I am, one calls upon the very principle of life, aligning the finite with the infinite, the visible with the invisible, the temporal with the eternal. It is the password to the treasury of heaven, the golden key that unlocks every door. For the I am is not a mere phrase but the recognition of the God, self dwelling within, the acknowledgement of the eternal source of abundance. Every soul carries within it the spark of infinite intelligence, yet few realize the power that rests upon their own lips. When the words, I am, are spoken, whatever follows is sealed as law. If one says, I am poor, the infinite supply is bound by the decree, and the channels of prosperity are closed. If one says, I am wealthy, the floodgates of abundance swing open, and supply rushes forth. The universe is obedient to the words spoken in faith, for the I am is not just identification, it is creation. It is the aligning of the human soul with the limitless storehouse of spirit, which contains riches untold, waiting only to be claimed. The I am is the bridge between thought and manifestation, between desire and fulfillment. It is the power of being itself, and whatever is attached to it is infused with life. To say, I am strong, is to draw strength from the unseen. To say, I am guided, is to align with wisdom that knows the way. To say, I am prosperous, is to command the substance of supply to gather and take form. The infinite supply does not question, does not hesitate, does not resist, it responds with exactness, reflecting back the word that has been spoken. The law of the I am is eternal and cannot be altered. It was present when the worlds were formed and remains active in every utterance today. To misuse the I am is to misuse creative power, chaining the self to limitation and fear. To honor it is to step into mastery, directing the flow of life toward harmony, health, wealth, and freedom. The soul that learns to speak, I am, with authority discovers that it is never separated from its source, that infinite supply is always at hand, waiting for recognition. The recognition itself opens the channel, and the channel once opened cannot remain empty, for nature abhors a vacuum, and spirit rushes to fill the space with substance. Every morning, when the words, I am, are declared in faith, the connection between self and infinite supply is renewed. The mind, still quiet and receptive from sleep, absorbs the command deeply, engraving it upon the subconscious, which in turn brings it forth into outer form. This is why the morning is sacred. It is the time when declarations shape the day, when the soul writes upon the blank page of time the story it wishes to unfold. Those who begin their day with, I am abundance, I am wealth, I am success, set their feet upon the path of prosperity, drawing to themselves the conditions that correspond with their words. The I am works because it is identity. It is not a hope, not a wish, not a longing for what may come someday. It is the declaration of what is here and now. The infinite knows no future or past. It exists only in the eternal present. To say, I am wealthy, is to embody wealth now, not to postpone it, not to wait for it, but to claim it as a present reality. The subconscious accepts it, and the outer world rearranges itself to match the inner conviction. Delay falls away, and the good that seemed far off draws near. The connection between I am and infinite supply is unbreakable, for the source itself lives within the declaration. The moment one speaks, I am, the soul identifies with the eternal fountain of substance. Supply is not created by labor alone, nor by effort, nor by striving. It is called forth by recognition. Recognition is faith, and faith is the magnet that draws the unseen into the seen. One may toil for years without increase, if the words spoken are words of limitation. Yet another may speak, I am provided for, with unwavering belief, and the channels of supply open effortlessly, bringing forth what is required at the perfect time. I am is the word of dominion. It is the soul standing in authority, speaking as the heir of divine riches. To whisper, I am blessed, is to summon blessings from every quarter. To affirm I am abundance, is to clothe oneself in the garment of plenty. To proclaim, I am in harmony with wealth, is to attract wealth in ways beyond calculation, for harmony draws its likeness as surely as discord multiplies itself. Every am is a decree, and every decree is fulfilled in its own appointed season, for the law is immutable, and the law is exact. The infinite supply is inexhaustible. It cannot diminish, cannot run dry, cannot be depleted, for it is spirit itself, ever flowing, ever renewing, ever expanding. When the self speaks, I am, it taps into this boundless reservoir, drawing from it exactly what is declared. To say, I am lacking, is to close the channel, though the supply remains ever full. To say, I am fulfilled, is to open the channel wide, allowing the riches of spirit to pour forth into visible expression. The choice lies with the one who speaks, for the I am is the pen that writes upon the tablet of destiny. Thus, the soul learns to guard its words, to honor the I am as sacred, to attach to it only those qualities it desires to manifest. For the infinite supply responds not to idle wishing, but to firm recognition. The moment one identifies with wealth through the I am, the substance of wealth begins its journey into form. The moment one identifies with joy, with peace, with success, those qualities draw near, for they are already present in the infinite, waiting only to be claimed. The connection is not built, it already exists. It need only be acknowledged, and the acknowledgement is the word spoken. I am. Abundance is the soul's divine inheritance. From the beginning of creation, every soul was endowed with the limitless treasures of spirit. For the infinite Father lacks nothing and withholds nothing from his offspring. The universe is rich beyond measure, filled with overflowing supply. And man, made in the image of the Creator, is heir to all that is good, perfect, and complete. Abundance is not something to be earned by struggle, nor is it a prize bestowed upon a chosen few. It is the natural birthright of every soul that awakens to its divine origin. The storehouse of heaven is never locked, its gates never closed, For the wealth of spirit is infinite, ceaseless, and eternal. Poverty is not truth but illusion, a shadow cast by fear and ignorance. Lack arises when the soul forgets its source, when it identifies with limitation rather than with its inheritance of plenty. Just as a child of a wealthy house may wander in rags if unaware of its lineage, so too may a soul walk in want if it does not recognize that abundance is already its own. The law of supply has no boundaries. It flows freely and without end. When the soul claims its inheritance, abundance must rush to meet it, for the claim is lawful and cannot be denied. Abundance is not measured only in gold or possessions, but in every expression of fullness, health, joy, peace, opportunity, wisdom, and love. Wealth in its truest sense is the overflowing of good in all areas of life. The assurance that every need is already met, and every desire fulfilled in perfect timing. To awaken to abundance is to live in a world where doors open easily, where paths are cleared, where the right people appear, and where the perfect opportunities align as though by unseen hands. This is no accident, for the soul that knows its inheritance draws these things by divine law, just as a magnet draws iron filings without effort. The key lies in recognition. What is not recognized cannot be claimed, and what is not claimed remains unused though it already exists. The treasures of spirit surround every soul. Yet many walk blind to them, speaking words of lack, expecting limitation, and thus bearing themselves from the feast set before them. The moment a soul says with conviction, "I inherit abundance as my divine right," the veil begins to lift, and the outer world reshapes itself in response. For recognition is the key that opens the storehouse, and faith is the hand that reaches in to draw forth supply. The inheritance of abundance is secured by the law of creation. The infinite, being perfect, could not create lack, for lack is imperfection, and imperfection cannot proceed from perfection. The very presence of the soul in a body, dwelling in a world rich with air, water, food, and light, is proof of endless supply. Nature herself testifies to this inheritance. The trees bear fruit in season, rivers renew themselves, seeds multiply without end, and the earth yields more than enough to sustain all life. Scarcity is an illusion created by fear and grasping, but abundance is the eternal reality, flowing freely to those who align with its law. To claim abundance as inheritance is to cast aside the false belief in separation. The soul is never cut off from its source, though it may imagine itself so. Infinite substance is like the ocean, and each soul a wave upon its surface. The wave does not beg the ocean for water, it is already one with it, already supplied in full. So it is with abundance. To plead for supply is to forget union. To affirm it as inheritance is to remember truth. In that remembrance, channels open, opportunities arise, and riches flow in expected and unexpected ways, for the soul has spoken in alignment with law. The law of abundance responds to faith, and faith is built through the spoken word. When the soul declares, "Abundance is my inheritance, wealth is my right, supply is mine by divine decree," the subconscious receives the command and arranges the outer world to reflect it. People, places, and circumstances align to fulfill the decree, for the outer always mirrors the inner. Those who speak lack reap lack, for they affirm separation from their inheritance. Those who speak abundance reap abundance, for they affirm union with their source. The law does not judge, it simply fulfills the words spoken with belief. The inheritance of abundance is unchanging and cannot be taken away. It is not subject to the whims of fortune, the rise and fall of markets, or the opinions of men. It is established in spirit, eternal and secure, untouched by circumstance. A soul may ignore it, deny it, or fail to claim it, but it remains ever present, waiting to be recognized. Just as the sun shines whether or not a blind man perceives it, so abundance flows whether or not a soul claims it. The recognition does not create abundance, it reveals it, bringing into visibility what was already true in the invisible realm. Abundance flows through channels but is not limited to them. Employment, business, investments, and opportunities are but instruments through which supply manifests, but the source is always spirit. To mistake the channel for the source is to fall into fear, believing that if one channel closes, supply must end. Yet the inheritance of abundance is eternal and unfailing, and if one door shuts, another must open, often wider and greater than before. Those who rest in the certainty of their divine inheritance live without fear, knowing that supply can never fail. For the source is infinite and ever-present. To embody abundance is to live as though the inheritance were already fully visible. Gratitude becomes the daily song, for gratitude acknowledges that the inheritance is secure and active. Every small blessing is recognized as proof of greater abundance at hand, and this recognition multiplies blessings, for what is acknowledged expands. The soul that lives in gratitude lives in constant remembrance of its inheritance, and remembrance keeps the channels open for more to flow. The soul's inheritance is not only abundance for the self but also abundance to share. Wealth multiplies as it is given, for giving affirms the truth of unlimited supply. Fear withholds, believing in scarcity, but faith gives freely, knowing that the wellspring cannot run dry. To circulate abundance is to keep it alive, just as water must flow to remain fresh. The inheritance was never meant to be hoarded, but to be expressed, blessing the self and others alike, creating a cycle of giving and receiving that reflects the eternal rhythm of spirit. Affirmations activate unseen substance into form. Every word spoken with conviction is more than sound, it is a creative decree, charged with life, vibrating through the ethers, shaping the invisible into visible expression. The unseen substance of the universe, infinite and ever, ready, lies in waiting like clay, prepared to take form according to the molds impressed upon it by thought and word. Affirmations are not idle repetitions, but conscious acts of creation, setting into motion the forces of spirit that build, arrange, and manifest circumstances in exact alignment with what has been affirmed. The unseen substance of life is obedient to law. It does not resist, it does not question, it does not judge the worthiness of the one who commands it. It responds with precision to the image and vibration impressed upon it. When affirmations are spoken, they impress the subconscious with a pattern, and the subconscious, in turn, directs the unseen forces of life to picture that pattern in form. Just as a seed planted in the soil contains within itself the blueprint of the tree it will become, so does each affirmation carry within it the form of the reality it declares. To affirm health is to plant the seed of health. To affirm wealth is to plant the seed of wealth. To affirm success is to plant the seed of success. The soil of the unseen substance nurtures every seed faithfully until the harvest is visible. Affirmations are most powerful when they are spoken with feeling and faith, for feeling gives vitality to the word, and faith seals it with certainty. A lifeless repetition carries little weight, but a word charged with conviction vibrates with power, imprinting the subconscious deeply, stirring the unseen into activity. The spoken word carries sound, and sound itself is creative, for it moves through the ethers, leaving a pattern in its wake. Affirmations spoken aloud reach beyond the realm of thought. They become living forces moving outward, magnetizing conditions, people, and opportunities into harmony with the decree. Unseen substance is infinite and inexhaustible, awaiting direction at every moment. It is the raw material of creation, the spiritual essence from which all things are formed. When a craftsman shapes wood or stone, the material yields to the pattern of his tools. When the soul speaks affirmations, unseen substance yields to the pattern of the word. Whatever image is held and spoken consistently must come forth, for the law is exact and unwavering. To declare, I am abundance, is to carve abundance into the unseen. To declare, I am guided, is to stamp guidance into substance. To declare, I am health, is to impress wholeness upon the invisible field of life. The activation of unseen substance begins in the mind, for thought is the first mold. Yet it is through affirmation that thought takes on vibrational life. Thought alone may drift and scatter, but when clothed in the spoken word, it gains structure and force. Affirmations gather thought into focus, making it deliberate and directed. The mind may imagine abundance, but the spoken affirmation, I am abundance, commands it. fixing the image upon the subconscious and energizing unseen substance to move into alignment. The invisible does not resist form. It rushes to fill the mold provided by word and thought. Affirmations must always be in the present tense, for unseen substance exists only in the eternal now. To affirm that wealth will come someday is to postpone it endlessly, for the word will is always in the future, never in the present. To affirm, I am wealthy now, is to activate substance in the only time that truly exists, the present moment. The universe responds to the vibration of now, not to the delay of tomorrow. Each affirmation spoken as present reality is a declaration of law, and law cannot return void. The repetition of affirmations deepens the impression upon the subconscious, just as repeated strokes of a sculptor's chisel bring form to stone. One declaration may plant the seed, but repetition waters and nurtures it until the form is complete. Yet repetition must not be mechanical, it must be filled with life, belief, and expectancy. Each affirmation is a reminder of truth, a continual turning of the mind toward what is already real in spirit, and as the mind turns, unseen substance shapes itself accordingly. Affirmations activate unseen substance because they shift consciousness, and consciousness is the magnet that draws form. When one affirms wealth, the mind begins to expect wealth, and this expectancy aligns unseen substance into the channel of wealth. The subconscious begins to notice opportunities, the intuition sharpens, guidance flows, and actions are directed in harmony with the affirmation. The affirmation itself is the seed, but it also awakens the consciousness required to nurture the seed. The unseen responds to this shift, rearranging circumstances so that the outer reflects the inner declaration. Unseen substance is limitless, therefore no affirmation can exhaust it. To affirm abundance does not diminish the abundance available to others, for the supply is infinite. The law of affirmation does not operate by competition or struggle but by recognition. When one affirms abundance, one aligns with the truth that abundance already exists in fullness, awaiting manifestation. The affirmation does not create supply from nothing, it calls forth what already is, drawing it into visibility. The unseen is already complete. Affirmations simply bring into form that which has been eternally prepared. Every affirmation is a command to spirit, and spirit obeys with exactness. This is why affirmations must be chosen with care, for careless words impress careless patterns upon the unseen. To say, I am always struggling, is to activate struggle into form. To say, nothing ever works out for me, is to impress failure into the unseen. The law cannot distinguish between jest and seriousness, between idle speech and deliberate decree. It simply brings forth what has been declared. To guard the tongue is to guard the harvest, for every word sows a seed in the unseen. Affirmations activate unseen substance most swiftly when they are accompanied by gratitude. Gratitude acknowledges that the substance is already active, already forming, already on its way into visibility. Gratitude is the proof of faith, and faith compels the unseen into quicker manifestation. To affirm, I am abundance, and to give thanks as though the abundance were already in hand multiplies the power of the affirmation, for it anchors the word in certainty. Gratitude seals the impression upon the subconscious, making it unshakable, and the unseen responds without delay. The invisible realm is not distant, it is as near as breath, surrounding and interpenetrating the visible world at all times. Affirmations act as the bridge, translating the unseen into the seen, the formless into form. Each declaration is like a blueprint drawn upon the ethers, and unseen substance, obedient and tireless, builds according to that plan. There is no delay except in the wavering of belief, no limitation except in the pattern provided. The clearer and more consistent the affirmation, the swifter the manifestation. For the unseen works with exactness, never failing, never erring, always faithful to the word impressed upon it. Faith seals the word and manifests prosperity. When an affirmation is spoken, it sets the vibration into motion, but it is faith that anchors the word, fastening it securely within the unseen until it becomes visible. Without faith, words are like seeds scattered on stony ground. They may fall, but they do not take root. With faith, every word is a seed planted in fertile soil, nurtured by conviction, and destined to bear fruit in the perfect season. Faith is the invisible substance that bridges the gap between the spoken decree and its material expression, the power that transforms the invisible promise into visible form. Faith is not mere hope or wishful thinking, for hope leaves room for doubt, but faith knows. Faith declares, and it is done. Faith speaks the word once and rests in certainty, knowing that the unseen is already in motion to fulfill it. To affirm, "I am abundance," with doubt is to weaken the command, but to affirm it with unshakable faith is to decree a law that must be obeyed. Faith does not strain, does not question, does not beg. It simply accepts that the word spoken is the word fulfilled. This acceptance is the seal, the invisible stamp of authority that guarantees manifestation. The subconscious mind is deeply influenced by faith. When words are spoken without belief, the subconscious does not receive them as truth, and the outer world reflects the lack of conviction. But when words are spoken in faith, the subconscious accepts them immediately, shaping thoughts, emotions, and actions to align with the declaration. The subconscious does not reason, it obeys. Faith is the force that convinces it, the power that makes the affirmation real in the inner world long before it appears in the outer. Once it is real within, it must inevitably take form without, for the inner always precedes the outer. Faith is the assurance that unseen substance is already at work. Just as a farmer does not dig up the seed after planting to see if it is growing, so faith does not question whether the affirmation is being fulfilled. The farmer trusts the law of growth, the soul that walks in faith trusts the law of spirit. The unseen works quietly, steadily, unseen by the physical eye, yet faith knows it is happening and rests in peace. This resting is not idleness but alignment. For the soul that has faith walks in expectancy, speaks in gratitude, and moves in harmony with the fulfillment of the word. Faith draws prosperity because it dissolves fear, and fear is the only obstacle to supply. Fear is the denial of abundance, the false belief that the universe is limited, hostile, or withholding. Faith cancels fear by affirming truth, that supply is infinite, that good is ever present, that abundance is the rightful inheritance of every soul. When faith seals the word, fear has no foothold, and prosperity flows freely, unobstructed, into form. The law of prosperity is eternal, but it is faith that allows the soul to claim its benefits, for only faith aligns with truth, while fear aligns with illusion. Prosperity manifests in many forms: money, opportunities, health, relationships, peace, and joy. Faith does not dictate the channel through which prosperity must come, it simply knows that it will come. The soul that affirms with faith does not demand the details, but trusts the infinite intelligence to arrange them perfectly. Just as water finds its own level, so prosperity finds its own channel, flowing naturally to the one who has spoken the word and sealed it with belief. Faith does not insist on how or when, for those are the province of spirit. Faith only insists that it is done, and by that insistence, it becomes visible in perfect timing. The strength of faith is revealed in adversity. When appearances seem contrary, when the outer world shows lack, faith continues to affirm prosperity, knowing that appearances are temporary and powerless against law. To declare, "I am abundant," while looking at an empty purse is the highest exercise of faith, for it refuses to be deceived by the visible and clings to the invisible reality. The unseen substance is more real than the seen, for it is the source of the seen, and faith rests in this truth. By standing firm, faith hastens the manifestation, for it holds the vibration steady, preventing the wavering that delays fulfillment. Faith is built by repetition of truth and by experience of fulfillment. Every time an affirmation comes to pass, faith is strengthened, for the soul remembers that the law works unfailingly. The remembrance of past victories fuels the conviction of present declarations, and each manifestation builds momentum for greater manifestations to follow. Yet even before evidence appears, faith must be exercised, for faith precedes sight. To wait for proof before believing is not faith but doubt. To believe before proof is the essence of faith. and it is this belief that brings prosperity into form. Faith is the very substance of prosperity, for prosperity begins in the invisible realm. To affirm, "I am wealthy," is to plant the seed, but to believe it is to give the seed substance, to surround it with the conditions that make growth inevitable. Prosperity manifests first in consciousness as a feeling of abundance, a sense of sufficiency, a confidence in supply. This inner prosperity magnetizes outer prosperity. For the law of correspondence brings forth in the visible world that which has been established in the inner. Faith makes the inner real, and once it is real within, it must express without. Gratitude is the companion of faith, for gratitude declares that the word is already fulfilled. To give thanks for prosperity before it is seen is the surest proof of faith, and it accelerates manifestation. Gratitude seals the word with joy, making the affirmation unshakable, for one cannot give thanks and doubt at the same time. Faith and gratitude together form an irresistible power, drawing prosperity with certainty, for they align the soul completely with the truth of abundance. Faith does not operate in isolation, it harmonizes with action. Affirmations spoken in faith inspire right action, guiding the soul to take steps that align with the declared prosperity. These steps may appear small, but each one moves the soul closer to manifestation, for faith makes the path clear. Action without faith may falter, but faith without action may stagnate together. They form the perfect union that brings prosperity swiftly into form. Faith guides the mind, sharpens intuition, and opens doors that labor alone could never achieve. Faith is the eternal seal upon the word. It transforms affirmations from mere speech into law, from fleeting sound into enduring reality. It is the force that holds the vibration steady, that carries the word through unseen channels, that ensures the manifestation of prosperity in perfect time and manner. Without faith, the word drifts. Scattered by doubt, with faith, the word stands firm, irresistible, and absolute, commanding substance to take form and prosperity to appear. Beloved, life is not a battle but a game. And like every game, it is played according to certain laws. Many have been taught, from childhood, to expect struggle, fear, and lack. Words have been spoken over them, words of limitation, doubt, and failure. And those words have taken root in the fertile soil of the subconscious, shaping the conditions of their lives. But every negative pattern, every false belief, can be erased just as easily as chalk is wiped from a blackboard. The mind is the workshop of creation. Whatever picture it holds steadily will be impressed upon the outer world. If the picture is one of defeat, defeat will surely come. If it is one of abundance, health, and victory, those blessings must appear. For the law is unfailing: whatsoever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The good news is this: years of negative programming, no matter how deeply rooted, can be dissolved in an instant by the light of truth. The subconscious accepts every word we speak, every thought we entertain, without judgment. If for years we have spoken words of worry, "I can't," "I'm not worthy," "things never work out for me," then those seeds have produced after their kind. But by choosing new words, words of power, words of faith, the garden of the mind can be replanted. The harvest changes as swiftly as the sowing. There is no age, no past, no history that can stand against the eternal now. The present moment is filled with unlimited potential. In this instant, one may decide to release the old record that has played endlessly in the background of the mind. That record of lack and fear can be broken, and a new song can be set upon the turntable, one of harmony, joy, and freedom. Life responds unfailingly to the tune we hum within. Often people say, "But I have struggled for years. The damage is done." Yet there is no damage that spirit cannot heal. The universe knows nothing of difficulty. To spirit, the release of a lifetime of wrong thinking is no greater task than the lifting of a feather. The same law that allowed the error to form will, when reversed, dissolve it. Every wrong belief is like a shadow. It appears dark, but it has no substance. Turn on the light and the shadow vanishes. The spoken word is the key. Declare boldly the opposite of what the negative programming has whispered. If it has said, "You are weak," affirm, I am strong, for the power of the infinite works through me. If it has said, you will never prosper, affirm. I am supplied from a boundless source, and riches flow freely into my life. Each affirmation plants a seed of truth, and truth, once spoken, cannot fail to bear fruit. One does not need to fight the old beliefs. Fighting only gives them power. Simply ignore them, and replace them with radiant affirmations of good. As darkness is dispelled by light, so error is dispelled by truth. The years of negative programming dissolve like mist before the rising sun, and the dawn of freedom breaks forth. The subconscious mind accepts every word and thought. It is the silent builder behind every experience. The hidden scribe that records every impression we allow to pass through the gates of our conscious awareness. The subconscious does not argue, nor does it analyze or discriminate. It simply takes in the material handed to it and brings it forth in the outer world as conditions, circumstances, and experiences. For this reason, what is spoken, what is thought, and what is believed is of utmost importance, for nothing remains unexpressed. Every word becomes a seed, every thought a decree, and the subconscious is the fertile soil that never fails to yield a harvest according to its planting. Many fail to recognize this law and speak carelessly, saying things they do not truly desire, only to find those very conditions multiplying in their lives. A person may casually say, I am always unlucky, or I can never afford that, and the subconscious, obedient and unquestioning, goes to work to manifest conditions that align with those words. It does not pause to ask, is this true? Does this serve the higher good? It simply reflects the suggestion given, just as a mirror reflects the image placed before it. This is why the tongue is described as having the power of life and death, for words spoken with feeling sink deep into the subconscious, shaping destiny itself. The thoughts entertained in silence carry the same power. Every idle fear, every worry, every mental rehearsal of failure is impressed upon the subconscious as a command. A person who continually imagines disaster will find disaster seeking them out, not because life is cruel, but because the law is exact. The subconscious mind accepts the mental picture, and the unseen forces of creation move to fulfill it. The outer world is nothing more than a photograph of inner thinking, a snapshot of the images continually held before the inner eye. Yet the same law that makes one a prisoner of careless words and thoughts is also the law that grants freedom and mastery. For just as negative suggestions are accepted and reproduced, so too are affirmations of truth, power, and success. When the conscious mind deliberately chooses words of strength and visions of good, the subconscious cannot resist them. It must bring them to pass. It does not matter how long a false belief has been planted, nor how many years the soil has borne a harvest of lack and limitation. The moment new seeds are sown with conviction, the law begins to turn, and the old conditions must yield to the new. Consider how a gardener transforms a neglected field. If weeds have grown unchecked for years, the soil does not argue against the planting of good seed. The weeds may appear abundant at first, but as the gardener tends carefully, pulling up the old growth and sowing new seed, the harvest changes. The field that once bore thistles begins to yield wheat. In the same manner, the subconscious, when fed with words of harmony and thoughts of abundance, gradually ceases to reproduce the weeds of fear and doubt, and instead brings forth health, prosperity, and peace. This truth explains why repetition and affirmation are so powerful. Each repetition drives the new idea deeper into the subconscious, until it takes root and grows as naturally as the old patterns once did. To say, I am divinely guided, again and again, is to impress upon the inner mind a picture of guidance and safety, which then manifests as intuitive leadings, right decisions, and timely protection. To declare, I am strong and whole, is to plant the seed of health, which the subconscious accepts and outpictures in the body as vitality and strength. The law does not tire, nor does it falter. It responds unfailingly to every impression. The subconscious also accepts suggestion most readily when the conscious mind is quiet and passive. States of relaxation, moments before sleep, and times of meditation open the doorway for suggestion to pass unchallenged. This is why many find it helpful to repeat affirmations before retiring at night, for the subconscious works unceasingly while the conscious mind sleeps, weaving the affirmations into the fabric of life itself. Even a single statement, spoken with deep feeling and conviction, can overturn years of wrong thinking, for the subconscious is not bound by time. It knows only the present moment, and it responds instantly to the strongest impression it receives. Another key to understanding the subconscious is realizing that it is always linked to the universal mind, the infinite intelligence that governs all. Thus, the words and thoughts impressed upon it are not limited to personal strength alone. They draw upon the inexhaustible power of spirit. To declare a truth is to release an energy greater than oneself, and the subconscious, being the channel of that energy, ensures its manifestation. A man may think he is weak and limited, but when he begins to declare words of strength, the subconscious connects him with strength beyond his human capacity, and he finds himself doing what once seemed impossible. The subconscious also accepts images and symbols. A person who continually envisions themselves as successful plants, that picture as surely as one who speaks it aloud. Visualization is but another form of language, one that the subconscious understands perfectly. To see oneself walking in abundance, living in peace, and radiating health is to give the subconscious a blueprint it will unfailingly reproduce. The outer conditions may take time to align, just as a seed takes time to grow, but the law is certain, and the harvest cannot be denied. This principle explains why so many live lives filled with contradiction. Outwardly, they may desire good, but inwardly, their thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, and contradiction. They say, "I want success," but they imagine failure. They pray for abundance, but they speak constantly of lack. The subconscious accepts the stronger impression, and most often it is the negative one, for it is repeated with greater feeling and conviction. The law does not show favoritism, it simply reflects what is planted. Thus, the careful watcher of thought and the deliberate speaker of words becomes the master of destiny. Every great change begins with a new thought. To recognize that the subconscious accepts every word and thought is to hold the key to transformation. One need not strive to undo the past. One must simply begin to impress new patterns in the present. The moment a person becomes conscious of their words, guarding them as treasures, and begins to select thoughts as carefully as one selects precious jewels, life itself begins to change. For the subconscious, obedient and tireless, continues its work, bringing forth in form whatever it has been given in spirit. Negative programming can be erased and replaced instantly. The years of false belief, the constant repetition of untrue words, and the pictures of defeat that have played again and again in the mind are nothing more than shadows on the wall. They may seem strong, they may seem permanent, but they are without substance. They exist only because they have been given attention and belief. The moment the attention is withdrawn and a new impression is given, the old dissolves, for error has no foundation of its own. It is upheld only by the power of thought, and thought can be changed in an instant. Many live under the weight of memories and experiences that have impressed themselves deeply upon the subconscious. Words of criticism spoken in childhood, repeated failures in youth, or struggles in adulthood may seem to form a wall that cannot be broken. Yet the truth is that these memories have power only because they are remembered with feeling. The instant a new truth is accepted with greater feeling, the old impression is erased. The subconscious does not cling to the past. It only responds to the strongest current impression. And when that impression is one of faith, harmony, and abundance, the old patterns vanish as though they had never been. This is why it is said that truth is always victorious. A single ray of light drives away darkness that has lingered for centuries. A room may have been dark for 1,000 years, but the moment a lamp is lit, the darkness is gone without effort. The same law governs the mind. Negative programming may have been fed for decades, but the moment truth is spoken with authority and conviction, The years of false belief are wiped away. The subconscious does not keep accounts of time. It knows only the now, and in the now, it must yield to the higher word. To erase negative programming, one must first recognize that it is false. The idea that one is unlucky, unworthy, or destined for struggle is not truth. It is an error impressed by repeated suggestion. When the conscious mind boldly declares the opposite, the error begins to dissolve. To say, I am guided, I am worthy, I am successful, is to set a new pattern before the subconscious, and it cannot resist the stronger picture. With persistence, the new becomes established, and the old falls away. This does not require years of labor or analysis of the past. It requires the firm choice to speak and think only what is desired. The speed with which change occurs depends not on time but on conviction. Some erase years of limitation in a moment of illumination, when a great truth flashes upon their mind and sweeps away the old beliefs as though by fire. Others replace gradually, through steady repetition of affirmations and faithful refusal to entertain the old suggestions. In both cases, the principle is the same. The new impression cancels the old, for the subconscious cannot hold two opposing pictures. The stronger impression always dominates, and life reshapes itself accordingly. Consider how a record player works. If a song of sorrow is playing, one does not need to wait until it finishes to hear a new melody. One simply removes the record and places another upon the turntable. The new song begins instantly, and the old is forgotten. So it is with thought. The negative record may have played for years, but it can be lifted off in an instant and replaced with a song of joy, health, and prosperity. The subconscious does not protest. It simply plays the record that is set before it. Affirmations are the needle that carries the new song into the grooves of the mind. To say with feeling, I erase every false belief. I accept only truth. I am whole, I am free, I am abundant, is to press a new pattern into the subconscious. Each word spoken with faith deepens the groove, until the old programming is forgotten, and the new becomes the only melody heard. The outer life then reflects the change, for it is but the echo of the inner song. Visualization is another powerful means of replacement. If one has continually pictured failure, the imagination must now be turned toward success. To see oneself walking in victory, surrounded by abundance, radiant with health, is to create a blueprint the subconscious must follow. The pictures of the past dissolve as the new images are impressed. The law of mind is creative, and it responds without fail to the pictures held before it. The spoken word, combined with feeling, works instantly. Feeling is the fire that burns the image into the subconscious. A word spoken coldly may have little effect, but a word spoken with passion and belief etches itself deeply. If one has spoken words of fear with feeling, those words have shaped their life. But when one begins to speak words of power with equal feeling, the new pattern takes hold, and the old is consumed. It is not effort that brings the change but alignment with truth. Truth is self-existent. When it is declared, it establishes itself without struggle. Even the most stubborn forms of negative programming yield to this law. Habits of thought that have repeated themselves for decades may appear strong, but they are only strong because they have been repeated. The instant the repetition stops, and a new repetition begins, the balance shifts. Just as water wears away stone by continual flow, so affirmations of truth wear away the hardest beliefs, until nothing remains but the smooth surface of freedom. Some experience this shift suddenly, as if a weight has been lifted. Others notice it gradually, as the new pattern quietly replaces the old. In either case, the law is certain: negative programming cannot withstand the presence of truth. The mind cannot serve two masters. If one continually feeds it with affirmations of strength, peace, and abundance, the negative programming loses its hold. To say daily, I choose truth, I choose freedom, I choose joy, is to set the course of thought in a new direction. The subconscious, obedient and faithful, follows without question. The outer world adjusts, doors open, conditions shift, and life reflects the inner renewal. Negative programming can be erased and replaced instantly. It matters not how long the mind has entertained false beliefs, how many years words of limitation have been repeated, or how deeply rooted a fear seems to be. The nature of error is that it has no real substance. It is only an image impressed upon the subconscious. An image may appear strong, but the moment a new image is introduced with greater force, the old vanishes as though it never was. A shadow may linger in a darkened room for decades, yet the instant light enters, the shadow is gone. So it is with negative programming. It can dissolve in a single moment, when the light of truth is spoken with conviction. Many hold the belief that because a habit of thought has been repeated for years, it must take years to undo. This is not so. The subconscious does not measure by time. It responds only to impression, and the strongest impression wins. A man may have repeated a lie to himself for half a lifetime, but if in one blazing moment of realization, he declares the truth with absolute certainty, that truth will erase the falsehood completely. The inner law knows no difficulty. It does not struggle to overwrite the old. It simply accepts the new and outpictures it. One strong affirmation spoken with faith carries more power than 1,000 repetitions of fear spoken half-heartedly. The key lies in intensity of conviction. The subconscious accepts what is felt as true. If negative programming has ruled, it is only because the false beliefs were accepted with feeling. They may have been reinforced through words spoken by authority figures, through experiences charged with emotion, or through the silent repetition of fear-filled thoughts. Yet the same channel through which error entered is the channel through which truth can enter. When a new word is spoken with emotion, when a new picture is held with determination, it cuts deeper than the old pattern and takes command. The law does not cling to the past. It reflects the strongest present conviction. Consider the case of a person who has been told since childhood that they are weak, unworthy, or destined to fail. Those words spoken repeatedly planted themselves in the subconscious and grew into a crop of insecurity and lack. But one day, perhaps through an inner awakening or a revelation of truth, the individual stands and declares, "I am strong, I am worthy, I am guided into success." If spoken with fire, with unwavering certainty, those words strike the subconscious like a bolt of lightning, burning away the weeds of false belief. From that instant, life begins to rearrange itself to match the new declaration. What seemed like years of conditioning collapses before the presence of a higher truth. The swiftness of change often startles those who expect struggle. They think change must be gradual, that one must wrestle with the past endlessly. Yet struggle belongs to the conscious mind. The subconscious does not resist. It does not argue, it does not debate. It yields instantly to the higher impression. A person may affirm abundance after years of lack, and suddenly find doors of supply opening, where before there were none. Another may declare health after years of illness, and feel strength flowing through their body, as though a new current of life has been switched on. These are not miracles outside the law. They are demonstrations of the law's perfect response to the present command. One reason people cling to negative programming is because they rehearse it constantly. They tell the same stories of failure, repeat the same complaints, and imagine the same disasters. Each telling renews the old impression, giving it fresh life. Yet the moment one refuses to repeat the old record, and instead begins to affirm the new, the programming loses power. The subconscious does not preserve the past unless it is continually fed. Withdraw attention, and the old belief fades like a star at dawn. Replace it with words of truth, and the dawn grows brighter until only light remains. Imagination is a powerful tool in this process. To see oneself as already free, already abundant, already strong, impresses the subconscious with a living picture. If the old programming said, "You are always behind," the instant a vivid picture is held of walking in victory, of moving forward with ease, the subconscious begins to reproduce that new picture. It does not ask whether the image is realistic, it simply accepts it. And as the new image is impressed again and again, it grows stronger than the old until the outer world reflects it. This is why visualization, coupled with spoken affirmation, can bring about rapid transformation. Another method of erasing negative programming is through what might be called the law of reversal. If one has been repeating words of fear, simply reverse them into words of faith. If one has thought continually of failure, declare success. If one has pictured lack, picture supply overflowing. The subconscious does not hold on to the error once the opposite truth is asserted with conviction. It is like turning the wheel of a ship. No matter how long the vessel has drifted in one direction, the instant the wheel is turned, the course changes. The waters may take time to reveal the new heading, but the direction is already altered. The subconscious responds especially to words charged with joy. When the declaration of truth is spoken with enthusiasm, it carries far greater weight than words spoken with indifference. Joyful affirmation breaks through years of programming because it vibrates with life. To speak with laughter and energy is to impress the subconscious in a language it cannot ignore. The old programming was most often planted through fear and sadness. It can be uprooted through joy and faith. The swiftness with which negative programming can be replaced is also linked to one's willingness to let go. Many unconsciously cling to their old patterns because they identify with them, believing they are part of who they are. The instant one decides, "This no longer belongs to me, I am free of it," the subconscious accepts the release. Freedom comes not from wrestling with the old, but from dropping it entirely and choosing the new. Just as one can set down a heavy stone at any moment, so one can lay aside the burden of false belief in an instant. Even when the old pattern tries to reappear, it can be dismissed easily by refusing to give it attention. One does not need to fight it, for fighting keeps it alive. Simply replacing it with the new truth each time it arises ensures its final dissolution. Every time the subconscious is presented with the new pattern, it grows stronger until the old has no place left to cling. The replacement is complete, and life bears witness to the fresh seed that has been sown. The spoken word holds creative power. Every word uttered is a seed planted in the soil of the subconscious, and the harvest is inevitable. Words are not empty sounds drifting into the air, they are forces charged with energy, clothed in vibration, and alive with direction. Once spoken, they do not vanish. They impress themselves upon the inner mind, and from there they move outward into the unseen, drawing conditions, people, and circumstances that match their tone. To speak is to decree, and the law of the subconscious is to carry out that decree without resistance or question. From the beginning, words have held this power. The world itself is spoken into being each moment by the thoughts and words of those who inhabit it. When someone says, "I am weak," they set in motion currents that reproduce weakness. When they say, "I am strong," those same currents arrange themselves to bring about strength. The spoken word is like a key turned in a lock. It opens the door to whatever is affirmed. Words of lack open the door to lack. Words of abundance open the door to abundance. The law is exact, and it never fails to fulfill the command given. Every word carries with it a vibration, and that vibration is impressed upon the subconscious with precision. A child who hears repeatedly that they are clumsy, unworthy, or incapable begins to carry those words within, and the subconscious, taking them as commands, reproduces them in life. The child grows into an adult who finds themselves stumbling, doubting, and failing, not because of truth, but because of words once spoken. The spoken word continues to echo until it is replaced by a higher word. This is why affirmations of truth are so powerful. They break the chain of false decrees and establish new ones. When someone begins to say, "I am divinely guided, I am supplied from an infinite source, I am radiant with health," those words enter the subconscious and begin to build. The subconscious does not measure by the past. It takes the present word as law. If the present word contradicts years of false belief, but is spoken with conviction, it cancels the old and plants the new. The harvest follows the seed, and the seed is always the spoken word. Feeling magnifies the power of words. A word spoken without emotion may skim the surface of the mind, but a word charged with feeling sinks deeply into the subconscious. where it sets roots. This is why words spoken in moments of strong emotion, whether fear or faith, so often shape destiny. A declaration of fear in a moment of panic may impress itself deeply, but so too can a declaration of truth in a moment of inspiration. To speak with joy, passion, and certainty is to engrave the word upon the inner tablet where it must manifest in form. Words also create images in the imagination, and the subconscious works upon these images tirelessly. To say, "Everything works out for me," conjures a picture of harmony and ease, which the subconscious accepts and reproduces. To say, "Nothing ever goes my way," forms a picture of struggle, which the subconscious also accepts and reproduces. The spoken word not only declares but also paints, and the canvas of the subconscious holds every brushstroke. The subconscious does not argue with the spoken word. It does not reason or weigh possibilities. It accepts and obeys. This is why careless speech is so dangerous. People often declare what they do not wish to experience, thinking their words are idle, not realizing that each utterance plants a seed. Someone may say, "I always catch a cold this time of year," and soon the body reflects that command. Another may say, "I can never get ahead," and circumstances seem to conspire to keep them behind. Yet the law works just as faithfully for truth as for error. When one begins to say, "I am filled with divine health," or "Everything I need comes to me in perfect time," the subconscious accepts those decrees and arranges life to match them. Repetition deepens the groove of the spoken word. A single declaration may impress itself faintly, but when repeated day after day with faith, the word becomes established in the subconscious as a permanent law. This is why affirmations are not to be spoken once and forgotten. They are to be repeated, joyfully and expectantly, until they feel natural. Once they feel natural, the subconscious has accepted them as truth, and the outer life must reflect them. The spoken word, repeated with conviction, is like drops of water carving stone. Eventually, the stone yields, and the channel is formed. Words also hold power when spoken aloud rather than silently. The vibration of sound carries force that penetrates deeply into the subconscious and into the unseen. To hear oneself declare, "I am prosperous, I am protected, I am victorious," reinforces the message more strongly than silent thought alone. The ears hear, the mind records, and the subconscious accepts. Sound amplifies the decree, sending it forth with greater impact. The spoken word does not return void. Once released, it travels into the unseen and sets in motion forces that continue to work until the decree is fulfilled. A word of blessing spoken over one's affairs sets in motion currents of good. A word of complaint sets in motion currents of difficulty. To bless is to increase, to curse is to diminish. Every word blesses or curses, builds or destroys, sows peace or sows discord. The choice lies in the speaker's tongue. Even casual words hold power. Someone who continually says, "I am tired," will find themselves exhausted more often, for the subconscious receives the command and lowers energy to comply. Another who says, "I am filled with energy and life," finds the subconscious releasing vitality. Words spoken in jest, if repeated often, may also take root. The subconscious has no sense of humor, it accepts the word as law. This is why vigilance over speech is essential. To guard one's words is to guard one's destiny. The spoken word also has power when directed toward others. Words spoken over children, friends, or loved ones are often accepted by their subconscious, especially if spoken with authority or emotion. A parent who says to a child, "You are clever, you are capable, you will succeed," plants seeds that grow into confidence and ability. A parent who says, "You are foolish, you will never learn," plants weeds that may hinder for years. The same law applies in every relationship. To speak words of encouragement and blessing is to call forth the best in others. To speak words of criticism and condemnation is to reinforce their weaknesses. The creative power of the spoken word extends beyond the personal into the collective. When groups of people repeat the same affirmations of fear or lack, they create collective conditions of fear and lack. When groups declare truth, unity, and abundance, they create collective upliftment. This is why the words of leaders, teachers, and those in authority carry such weight. They impress not only individual subconscious minds, but also the collective subconscious of communities and nations. A single word of faith spoken by one in authority can uplift thousands, while a word of despair can bring many into darkness. The spoken word is a tool given to every soul. It is the means by which one shapes life according to desire. To understand its power is to step into mastery. To ignore its power is to drift, allowing careless words to create carelessly. Every word is a decree. Every decree a seed, every seed a harvest. The law is unfailing: as one speaks, so shall they experience. Fighting error strengthens it. Replacing it dissolves it. The human tendency is to struggle against what is unwanted, to push against fear, to wrestle with doubt, and to resist lack. Yet every ounce of energy given to opposition nourishes the very thing one seeks to be free from. The law of mind is that whatever receives attention grows. To fight error is to feed it with attention, to clothe it with vitality, to bind oneself to it more tightly. The more one declares, "I will not fail," the more the picture of failure is held in the mind. The subconscious does not register the word "not." It sees only the picture presented. The mind that fights failure is filled with the image of failure, and the subconscious reproduces it faithfully. Freedom does not come through resistance but through substitution. Just as darkness cannot be pushed away, but vanishes when light is introduced, so error cannot be fought into submission but disappears when truth is affirmed. To say, "I do not want to be sick," is to impress the subconscious with the image of sickness. To say, "I am filled with health and strength," is to impress it with the picture of vitality. The first strengthens error, the second dissolves it. The law is impartial, responding to the pictures and words presented without judgment. If the picture is negative, it grows. If the picture is positive, it manifests. The choice is always with the one who holds the thought and speaks the word. Struggle often feels natural, because it gives the impression of effort and control, yet struggle is the surest way to entrench the old pattern. The harder one tries to banish fear, the more vivid the picture of fear becomes. The more one tries to resist poverty, the more firmly the image of poverty is stamped upon the subconscious. It is like quicksand: the more one thrashes, the deeper they sink. Release comes only by ceasing the struggle and choosing a new image. One must ignore the error and replace it with truth, calmly and steadily, until the truth stands alone. Consider the gardener who discovers weeds in the soil. To sit in rage against the weeds, to curse them, to beat the ground in anger, is wasted energy. The weeds remain, yet if the gardener plants flowers and nourishes them, the weeds are gradually choked out. The soil cannot produce both weeds and flowers in the same place. The stronger plant overtakes the weaker. In the same way, the subconscious cannot hold two opposing pictures indefinitely. The stronger impression prevails. If the picture of truth is held steadily, error fades. This is why affirmations are most effective when spoken with calm assurance rather than desperate struggle. To affirm with force and fear is to mingle the vibration of doubt with the word, weakening its effect. But to affirm with serenity, as though the truth were already established, is to impress the subconscious with quiet power. Error dissolves not through frantic battle, but through steady substitution. Each time the old thought arises, one gently turns away and replaces it with the chosen truth. Over time, the new becomes the only pattern, and the old ceases to appear. The principle can be seen in the handling of habits. If one seeks to overcome a habit by sheer resistance, they often find the habit growing stronger. The more attention given to resisting, the more the subconscious holds the picture of the habit, and the more it reproduces. But when one begins to replace the habit with a new activity, the old loses its grip. The energy once devoted to the error is now channeled into truth. The subconscious, impressed with the new pattern, begins to establish it, and the old pattern withers from neglect. The same law governs emotions. Anger does not dissolve through resisting anger, but through cultivating peace. Fear does not vanish through fighting fear, but through affirming faith. Sadness does not lift through struggling against sadness, but through replacing it with joy. Whatever one dwells upon grows stronger. The key is not to deny the presence of the old, but to withdraw attention from it and give attention to its opposite. In doing so, the law of replacement operates, and the old fades as the new becomes established. This principle is also evident in speech. Many speak constantly of what they wish to avoid. I don't want to be late. I can't afford this. I'm tired of being sick. Each statement strengthens the very condition they despise, for the subconscious accepts the picture and works to fulfill it. The wise replace such speech with affirmations of what they desire. I arrive at the perfect time. I am abundantly supplied. I am filled with health. The subconscious, receiving the new command, begins to shape life accordingly. The error is not resisted, it is ignored and replaced. Imagination is a powerful ally in this process. If one has pictured themselves failing repeatedly, it is useless to fight those images directly. The effort only makes them stronger. But by deliberately picturing success, seeing oneself victorious, confident, and prosperous, the new images gradually displace the old. The subconscious cannot hold both pictures with equal strength. The one dwelt upon consistently becomes dominant. Thus, success is not achieved by struggling against failure, but by envisioning success so clearly that failure fades into nothingness. Another illustration can be seen in the use of light. A room filled with darkness cannot be emptied by fighting the darkness. No matter how fiercely one resists it, the darkness remains. Yet a single candle flame dissolves it instantly. The darkness was never a force of its own, it was only the absence of light. Error, too, has no power of its own. It is only the absence of truth. When truth is spoken and affirmed, error vanishes as naturally as darkness before dawn. This law frees the individual from endless struggle. Instead of fighting against every wrong condition, one need only replace it with its opposite. To replace sickness with health, weakness with strength, lack with abundance, fear with faith, disharmony with peace. Each time the error presents itself, one calmly affirms the truth, without argument, without struggle, without fear. Over time, the truth becomes established, and the error is forgotten. Even the most stubborn forms of error yield to replacement. A person who has struggled with fear for years may find that no amount of resisting removes it. Yet if they begin to affirm courage daily, to picture themselves acting with confidence, and to speak words of strength, the subconscious accepts the new pattern. The fear, once fed by attention, starves from neglect and dissolves. Another who has lived in lack may find that resisting bills and debts only multiplies them. But by affirming abundance, picturing supply, and blessing every sign of provision, the new pattern grows until prosperity becomes the reality. The beauty of this law is that it requires no struggle with the past. There is no need to analyze, resist, or uproot every false belief. One must simply replace them with truth. As the truth is established, the error disappears of its own accord. The gardener does not fight the weeds endlessly, he plants flowers, and the flowers take over. The mind does not banish darkness through resistance. It turns on the light, and the light reigns. Truth and light dispel years of false belief. A mind may have been conditioned from childhood with words of fear, limitation, and failure, and those words may have built strongholds in the subconscious, shaping circumstances and coloring every experience. Yet no matter how long error has remained, it is powerless before the presence of truth. Truth does not struggle with falsehood, it simply shines, and the falsehood vanishes. A single ray of light dispels darkness that has lingered for centuries, and in the same way, a single realization of truth erases lifetimes of error. Time does not strengthen false belief, for error has no life of its own. It is upheld only by attention. The instant truth is declared, the structure of false belief collapses, for it never had foundation in reality. False belief is like a shadow on the wall. The shadow may appear large, looming, and frightening, but it has no substance. It is only the absence of light. Once the light is turned on, the shadow disappears instantly. Years of fear, doubt, and despair dissolve just as quickly when truth enters. The subconscious, once impressed with error, accepts the new impression of truth as easily as it once accepted the false. The change does not require struggle or delay. It requires only that the word of truth be spoken and received with conviction. The subconscious does not preserve error out of loyalty to the past. It only reflects what is continually impressed upon it. If false beliefs have been repeated, they have grown strong in appearance, but they are not permanent. The moment truth is impressed with greater force, the false belief gives way. This is why affirmations of truth are so powerful. To declare, "I am free, I am guided, I am whole," plants a new seed in the subconscious. Even if error has been nourished for years, it cannot withstand the presence of this new seed. The soil accepts the new planting, and the harvest begins to change. Truth carries within itself the power to establish itself. Unlike error, which must be sustained by repetition of fear and doubt, truth is self-existent. Once declared, it does not depend upon human effort to remain. It shines with its own light, and that light disperses all that is unlike itself. A person who has lived under the belief that they are unworthy may have reinforced that lie for decades. Yet in the moment they realize and affirm, "I am worthy, for I am one with the infinite source of life," the old belief begins to dissolve. The truth carries a higher vibration that the subconscious cannot resist. It is not necessary to go back through every false belief and examine its roots. The focus need only be on truth. When light fills a room, there is no need to trace every corner where darkness once dwelt. The light takes care of it all at once. In the same way, when truth is declared and affirmed, the years of false belief lose their hold, and the subconscious reorders itself according to the new word. This is why many experience sudden breakthroughs after long periods of struggle. It is not that truth has just become available, but that they finally opened the door to it. The spoken word of truth has a creative quality that cuts through the illusion of false belief. To declare, "I live in a universe of abundance," is to bring the subconscious into alignment with the reality of supply, regardless of how long lack has been experienced. To affirm, "I am filled with divine life and health," is to establish a new pattern in the body, no matter how long illness has been present. Truth does not look at the past, it establishes the present, and the present reshapes the future. Light reveals what was hidden. False belief thrives in ignorance, but once light is brought to it, its emptiness is exposed. Someone who has believed all their life that success is reserved for others may suddenly realize that success is a universal law, available to all who align with it. That realization, once accepted, dissolves the years of limitation. The light of truth reveals that abundance, health, and harmony have always been available. The only barrier was belief in the opposite. When the falsehood is seen for what it is, it crumbles at once. The process requires no force. Just as one does not need to push darkness out of a room, one does not need to wrestle with false beliefs. They fall away naturally when truth is affirmed. Every time one speaks words of truth, the light grows brighter. Every affirmation is a candle lit within the mind, and as more candles are lit, the shadows of false belief vanish completely. The subconscious, once filled with old records of fear and doubt, becomes filled with melodies of strength and freedom. Repetition strengthens the presence of truth within the subconscious. Each time truth is spoken, it drives the roots deeper. Years of error may appear strong because they were repeated often, but repetition of truth quickly overtakes them. To declare daily, "I walk in perfect guidance," eventually becomes established so firmly that doubt cannot return. The truth becomes second nature, and the subconscious holds it as law. The old beliefs, once thought immovable, are forgotten entirely. Even the most painful past can be healed in this way. A person may have experienced rejection, loss, or humiliation, and those experiences may have carved deep grooves of false belief. Yet, when they declare the truth, "I am loved, I am safe, I am secure in the divine," those grooves are filled with light. The memory may remain, but its sting is gone. For the false conclusion, once attached to it, has been dissolved. The subconscious no longer repeats the old pattern. Because it has been given a higher one. Truth is eternal and unchanging. False beliefs shift with circumstances, opinions, and fears, but truth stands as a steady light. When the mind anchors itself in truth, it finds stability. The storms of error may rage, but they cannot shake what is founded on truth. This is why one affirmation of truth, spoken with certainty, is more powerful than years of false belief. The false belongs to time, but the truth belongs to eternity. Eternity always prevails. The light of truth also brings clarity. When one lives under false belief, confusion reigns, and decisions are clouded. But when truth is affirmed, the path clears. The subconscious, aligned with truth, begins to direct intuitively. Ideas flow, guidance comes, and obstacles dissolve. The years of error no longer dictate the present. The present becomes shaped by light, and life takes on a new rhythm. What once felt like endless struggle begins to feel like effortless unfolding. Truth and light work gently but powerfully. They do not shout or force, they shine. They reveal what is real and cause the unreal to disappear. When one continually affirms truth, speaks words of light, and holds to them with conviction, the transformation may feel sudden, though it has been building silently all along. The years of false belief are erased, and the subconscious stands clear, ready to build upon the foundation of truth alone.